hockey game for you tonight from Madison Square Garden as we take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders, brought to you by United Airlines. More airlines for your money. The Dominator. 2.05 goals against average. 14-9-6 the record. Mike Richter, 2.80 goals against. 10-15-2. One lost tie mark. The officials this evening: Richard Trottier is the referee, Greg Dvorsky and Bob Hodges.
And
the linesman.
Buffalo, without Alexander Mogilny tonight, have elected Wayne Presley to play his position with Pat LaFontaine and Jason Dawe.
The correction to make already on the starting goaltenders tonight are brought to you by Continental Airlines. More airline for your money. Underway there for the first period along the near boards in the Buffalo zone. Rangers obviously coming out storming here in this game after losing to the New Jersey Devils on Sunday night 2-0. Gary Galley, who wears number 3, lost it from the corner. Pitching is Brian Leach. That tips up along the boards and kicked by Mark Messier, the captain. Pat Verbeek wears number 17 for the New York Rangers. Centering pass. Leach is all over the place in the Buffalo zone. Verbeek, one arm, taken down. The fans want a call. Rangers just in this opening minute setting up shop in the Sabres zone, and it's finally cleared. The Sabres out to center. If you've just joined us, no score between these two clubs. The 4th meeting of this shortened season. Rangers with a record of 2-1 over Buffalo. Last time the Sabres played here was opening night, back on January 20th, posting a 2-1 victory.
Well, one area that the Sabres must be strong in tonight, and they haven't been strong in recent games, is when the puck comes around the boards, the wingers must get possession of it and start to make a good play, either to the centerman or at the very least get it out across the blue line.
Coming out of the zone is Richard Schmelik, rink wide for Donald Audette. Slip shot save on the pads of Kevin Lowe. Audette getting his own rebound. Schmelik a part of the play, shooting it wide. Both teams sending their defensemen in. Here in the opening minutes of this hockey game.
That's right. Brian Leach was very much involved when the Rangers had the pressure on, and this time it was Richard Schmelik in front of the New York net.
Rangers getting it out of the zone. Alexei Karpovtsev up to Sergei Nemchinov across the Buffalo line as it scoots rink wide. Brian Noonan over to Peter Nedved. Number 10 for the Rangers. Nicely poked by Doug Huda. Got it out off the skate blades of Bob Sweeney. On this line with Derek Plant and Scott Pearson. Puck just outside the Buffalo line. Charlie Huddy tipping it in. Jay Wells, who is back into uniform tonight for the Rangers, sending it out, and Huddy does the same for Buffalo. No score here in this first period. I'd like to welcome our viewers tonight watching on Adelphia Cable down in Countsport, Pennsylvania. Nice to have you with us on a wet and rainy day in the city of New York. Karpovtsev tipping it up, stopped by Barker, left point, floats in front. Wells getting it out, and this is Nick Kiprios, number 19 for the Rangers. Over the Buffalo line. Nathan Lafayette, one of the new players, back in front as it tipped off the stick of Hasek. Joey Koster also rounding out the line. Back to Leach. Rob Ray with his helmet off, kicks him in the lane of escape, back out the center. Jeff Bukaboon is there for the Rangers. Gary Galley leading up with Bodger. Matthew Barnaby sending it back. Rick Galley, who comes into this evening's game on a 5-game point scoring streak. I think shoots it in.
He has a couple of assists for Buffalo in, 3 games that he has played so far.
LaFontaine stealing the puck from Messier, but the Sabres are caught for offside. Our coverage of Sabres hockey continues tonight from Madison Square Garden after this timeout.
So what's this hole?
385 yards.
And the direction?
Let me see.
If golf were as easy as banking at Fleet,
137.5 degrees.
the game might look something like this.
Fire when ready.
Take Fleet Fast Equity, for example. You can get up to a $25,000 home equity loan in your hand for 10 days.
Nice shot.
Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it?
That's 18 for 18.
Let's see how much you know about gasoline. Ready? In 1921, who opened the world's first drive-in service station? Your dad used it. His dad used it. Today, Gulf's Advent 21 formula keeps fuel injectors clean and helps my car run better than ever before. Whether it's full service or self-serve. For the life of your car, you know the name. Go Gulf.
Tonight's scratch is brought to you by Vicks Deep Discounted Pharmacy. Alexander McGillney out with a neck problem. Brad May and Alexei Zhitnik are with Buffalo on this trip. Zhitnik took the pregame skate. He may play on Friday. Brad May's a couple of weeks yet, maybe. And scratches for New York include Mark Osborne and Troy Loney.
Bouncing puck in the Rangers zone. Here's Dawn to Presley as it tips through the near corner. Presley joining the line with LaFontaine and Daw with McGillney out. That pitch serve at his neck. A lot of chopping at the puck here in the Rangers zone, and Messier starts out through center over the pack for Beek. Schmeling taking for Beek along the boards. Jarring the puck. Braves doing some checking down in the Sabres zone, but they cleared out, and here's Presley. Getting through center with LaFontaine over the Rangers line. Richter letting it go into the corner. Good move by Daw. Riding it up along the glass. LaFontaine pulled down from behind. Lukaboom lost it. Back up is Verbeek. Finds Messier. Poked nicely by Schmeling and sticks right with the Rangers captain. Judy getting it out to center and over the Rangers line. Picked off by a changeup. Stefan Matteau from the Sabres corner. And Schmeling takes Matteau into the board. Loose puck left side of the Sabres net. Larmer tried to get one in. Just to the glove side of Hasek. A couple of strange goals scored over the weekend on Dominic Hasek, who admitted he had a very bad weekend by allowing some 9 goals in the 2 games. Digging from the corner is Alexei Kovalev. He's coming on strong of late for the struggling Rangers.
Alexei Kovalev with 5 goals in the last 5 games. And he's a very talented player. One of the guys that they look to this year and has started, as you mentioned, to produce in recent games.
Bouncing puck in front. Here's Kevin Lowe with a shot saved by Hasek, and he covers up. 14:40 left to play here in this first period. No score.
One of the ways that you attempt to generate offense is to get your defensemen involved, and the Rangers have done that early. This time it's Kevin Lowe with the scoring opportunity as he moves in from his point position. And watch the left glove of Hasek as he covers up for the faceoff. So an easy save, really, for the Dominator. And a faceoff coming up to the left of the Buffalo net. Dominic Hasek's goals against average at an unfamiliar 2.05.
Still leads the National Hockey League, however, in save percentage.
All-time series, the Sabres with the edge with 45 victories. However, here at Madison Square Garden in the last 9 games, the Rangers with 6 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties between these 2 clubs. But the Sabres did win the first meeting of the year right here in this building by a score of 2-1 when the Stanley Cup came down from the clock.
It was a great pregame
It sure was.
Especially at that moment. From the draw, shot is right on, and Hasek is forced to scissor that puck up.
See, coaches, the face-off won cleanly by the Rangers. And when you win a draw clean like that, it allows the defenseman plenty of time to set it up. In other words, nobody's challenging him. He doesn't have people rushing at him because the wingers are holding up. Now watch Nedved pull this puck from Derek Plant. And the Rangers do a good job of holding the Buffalo forwards, but New York cannot get to the front of the net. Hasek has it for the faceoff. But coaches will tell you, look, if you're going to lose a faceoff, at least don't lose it clean like happened in that situation.
Hasek continuing to stretch as he does throughout the game, preparing for the faceoff left side of the Buffalo net. Peter Nedved, number 10 for the Rangers at center, going against Bob Sweeney. Sweeney winning the draw nicely. This is Doug Huda up along the boards to Derek Plant. Rounding out this line was Scott Pearson. Bounces into the corner. It's a little dark over there at Madison Square Garden tonight.
Oh, there's a penalty.
A hit from behind creates a penalty against the Rangers, and Peter Nedved will go to the penalty box for taking Derek Plant down.
Well, Peter, you can't do that. I mean, that's right in front of the referee. Clearly a hit from behind that should be called on every occasion. And the Sabres will go on the power play here with 14:19 to go in the opening period. Now, the Rangers, they were criticized in the paper for taking undisciplined penalties in recent games. Here's another example of an undisciplined penalty. It's a very talented but troubled Peter Nedved goes to the penalty box for that infraction on Derek Plant, and he almost did it again.
So the Sabres, 13th overall in power play efficiency, meaning a penalty-killing team that's only allowed 3 power play goals in the last 36 opportunities. But we talked to John Tortorella, assistant coach of the Sabres, earlier today about the power play, what with Alexander Mogilny out, and he said, watch for Bob Sweeney to stand in front of the net.
Well, when Alexander Mogilny plays the power play, he plays off to the side. He likes to play to the left of the goaltender, but I think you'll see Sweeney try to get in front of the goaltender, so we'll see a different look in this power play. When you have guys in front of the net, the defense must shoot it.
Gary Galley with the puck over to Bodger. Fans on that pass. We'll have an offside call against the Sabres. It just went off the blade of Bodger's stick the wrong way.
Galley did a smart thing there, though. Now, that puck was clearly across the blue line. He knew it. But to take it all the way back, you have to clear the zone. Your wingers waste a lot of time, so he just shot the puck back in, and the Sabres get a whistle and maybe can win a faceoff in the neutral zone and get it right back in the Ranger end. So perhaps save 15, 20 seconds or more.
How does a player like Galley help you on the power play?
Well, he's very smart, for one thing, very offensive-minded. He has that experience back there. He's not going to panic with the puck. He'll try to make a good play. And here's another example, leading the rush up the ice.
Over the corner is LaFontaine. Audette joining, and Sweeney from the other corner. Giving it over to LaFontaine with a shoveling move. Back over to Sweeney. Finds an open Doug Bodger. Has to tame that puck down on the bouncing ice surface. And that's cleared out. Talking about the ice surface, which we will keep note on. The circus is here at Madison Square Garden. They just got the ice ready in time for the warm-ups tonight. Just about 1 hour ago. Well, I'd imagine it'd be a little choppy.
I had a look at it. I was down there while they were repairing it. It didn't look bad, actually. And I'm sure it's a little bit slow, but as long as it's not too chippy and have the puck bouncing all over the place. And so far, that hasn't happened.
And a 1 o'clock circus show here today at Madison Square. From the corner, the Rangers taking time off the penalty of Peter Nedved. 38 seconds remaining, and Buffalo storms out through center. Scoreless game here in the first period as the puck goes along the end boards, chopped by Howard Chuck. It's a funny bounce. Rangers attempting to clear. Larmer's got it as he brings it up. Here's Sergei Nemchinov over the Buffalo line. Nice hit by Gary Galley, jarring that puck. Presley tipping it over to Dale Howard-Chuck. Over the New York line with 10 seconds left in the power play. Check by Presley on Jay Wells. Who puck Schmelik off the stick of Richter. Rebound Howard-Chuck. Here's Presley from behind. I'm ticking down on the Nedved penalty. Himmel just batted to the near side. Rebound off the side of Richter and picked up by the Rangers, who are back to full strength. No score here in the first. 12:05 remaining. Wrist shot off the stick of Hasek, who directs it right over to Schmelik. Himmel handed away to the line. Schmelik shot right on. Rebound jumps over along the boards as Hannon collides. SCA stretching for that puck. Rearing it out to Verbeek, who's pulled down from behind by Himmel, and a penalty comes up against Buffalo. So when we come back, the Rangers will be on the power play.
It's coming. To take cold. To take taste. To take smooth. To the extreme. Introducing Bud Ice. One ice that goes beyond the others. To take smooth. To the extreme. New Bud Ice.
In the last 12 months, we've introduced more new cars and trucks than anyone. Now we're celebrating. It's your Chevrolet Geo Dealers Open House Celebration, where you'll find a great starting price on the all-new Chevy Cavalier, just $10,715. And the all-new Chevy Lumina, it's high on features and low on price, just $16,445. That's over $1,800 less than Ford Taurus, Chevy Cavalier, and Chevy Lumina. Test drive them now during the open house celebration at your local Chevrolet Geo dealers.
On the left of the screen is Yuri Himalev as he sends Verbeek flying through the air with the greatest of ease. 2 minutes for tripping. I think Pat overdid that just a little bit.
Is that a flying camel?
It looked like it. The Buffalo bench, John Muckler included, were up in arms over that one, yelling across the ice at the referee. But the Rangers with their first opportunity in the power play.
They went 0 for 2 on Sunday against the Devils, 15th overall. Sabres penalty killing unit is back in attack. What was Dave Hannon in the lineup? He sat out Sunday afternoon's game. He's out there right now with Wayne Presley, along with Richard Schmellick and Frank Muni. Here's the setup for the Rangers on the power play. Graves shot it onto the pads of Muni. And they have to regroup out at center. Sabres with 11 shorthanded goals coming into this evening's game. They too have played well on the special units, especially shorthanded. From the corner is Graves, tipping it back behind the net to Messier. Soft pass back to Graves. And Leach with a wrist shot to Graves. Trying to feed Verbeek out in front, forced by Bodger. First period action, no score. This is Verbeek from the corner right to the stick of Bob Sweeney, and the puck is cleared.
Good positioning by Buffalo in the zone. Coaches will always tell you, if you play your positions, the puck will come to you. And Sweeney was in the right position, and the puck came to him.
5-3 in shots. Rangers in this scoreless game. Easter, Steve Larmer. To Leach, straight wide to Sergei Zubov. Rangers with patience, and the shot goes straight on to Hasek. Rebound with wide. Zubov taking it from the board. Sweeney diving and clearing the puck back to the Rangers line. 22 seconds left in the penalty to Yuri Himalev. Money from the corner. This is Brian Noonan. He got a good check from Galley. Well, Hannon clears it off the side. Took a funny bounce. They try to bank it in the left side of Hasek. Off the stick of Steve Larmer. Here's Leach from the right point. Over to Brian Noonan. Larmer off the stick of Galley. That's poked by Huddy to the near side. Sweeney clears it out.
Excellent penalty killing by Buffalo. A classic example of how to play a position in your own zone when the opposition is attempting to set up their power play. And when you have players on the power play like Brian Leach, you have a lot to worry about. But Leach has not had a good season so far for the Rangers. Dominik Hasek made, I thought, one really good stop on that Ranger power play. And it looked like the shot took it up in the chest. It hurt him somewhat, but Buffalo did clear the rebound. But Brian Leach continues to struggle. One of the problems that New York has run into this year is their inability to score consistently. The Rangers still in the 90s as far as goals for, along with Buffalo.
Everybody, including Neil Smith, the general manager, trying to pinpoint the problem of the Rangers. I think you hit it right on the nail.
Well, the Rangers have scored.
The forwards just can't score.
98 goals they've scored. The Sabres have scored 100. But Adam Graves, who had 52 last year, has really had a lot of trouble.
Jason Dawes out with Wayne Presley and Pat LaFontaine. No score. Over the halfway point. Cleared out. Presley tipping it out to center. Huda trying to get it up to Daw. That's intercepted by the Rangers and cleared back in. Hasek doing some stick handling, riding up to the stick of Larmer, who got it across the Buffalo crease. Presley. Nice blind pass up to Daw. LaFontaine's play poked by Jay Wells, and Kipriot sends it back over the Buffalo line. Doug Huda with some time. Chuck is out now, along with Presley and Daw. Chuck letting it go across the Rangers line and into the corner, and an icing call comes up against Buffalo. Our coverage of Sabres hockey continues tonight from New York City on the Empire Sports Network.
What you're about to learn may excite you, because the fact is it will help increase performance. I'm talking about golf. 93 octane super unleaded gasoline. It's quality you won't find from every major brand. Gulf's Advent 21 formula keeps fuel injectors clean and helps your car run better than ever before. So switch for the life of your car. You know the name. Go Gulf.
Your bowl, sir.
Thank you, Hobbs.
If basketball were as easy as banking at Fleet, the game might look something like this. Take Fleet Easy Business Credit, for example. It's simple to apply, and your company can get a loan decision up to $100,000 in 3 business days. Now, what could be easier than that?
Oh, brilliant shot, sir.
This date in Sabres history is brought to you by the Leah Car Corporation. Jim?
Let's go back just a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, 1992. Dale Howardchuk with 3 assists to give him 71 for the year. Great playmaker, Dale Howardchuk.
Oh, hey. No yawning. Too early in the game. 8:23 remaining, first period. Rangers on the prowl down in the Sabres zone. Kovalev kicking it along with the blade of his skate. Now one-armed. Bodger. After Kovalev, Easter Farmer trying to leave it back over for Matteau. Kovalev comes up with it. Alexei Kovalev one-arms it in front of the backhand. Hasek let it right off his pads. Here's Kovalev again, stuffing the puck, and Hasek's without his stick. Clear to the near side. Buffalo clears it. Harry Galley over to Yuri Himelov. Donald Audette over the New York line. Deking his way from low. Audette shot well wide. That takes a bounce along the glass, and the Rangers come back through center. Armour over the line. Number 28 for New York. Off the pads. Matteau has it. Off the pads again of Hasek. Now here's Peter Nedved. Trying to feed it out in front. Hasek looking for it. Chopped along the far side. Lukaboom kicks in with the blade of his skate.
Now,
tying up Himelov.
the Sabres are just getting beat one-on-one in their own zone, and that has to stop if they think that they're going to win this hockey game. The Rangers, here, another example. Look, Buffalo just cannot take anyone out of the play.
Leach hacks away. Score, New York!
And there's the result. That's just weak play by Buffalo in their zone, and that's been going on all period. The Rangers score on their 11th shot on goal to take a 1-0 lead. This is just hard physical work in the Buffalo zone. Leach with a backhand shot to the front of the net, and Noonan, who gets in behind the defense, picks up the loose puck and beats Dominik Hasek. And the New York Rangers take the 1-0 lead here in the first period on some great physical work by the forwards against the Buffalo defense.
Captain of the season for Brian Noonan. With the Rangers, the 1-0 lead here in the first period. And putting the pressure on the Sabres in their own zone, digging it from the corner. Is Sergei Nemchinov. That line stays out here. Brian Noonan along with Peter Nedved. Play held up along the boards with Charlie Honey and Dave Hannon. Nedved steals it from Hannon. Sweeney digs away to the near side. Pops free. Hannon starts it up with Scott Pearson. Wearing 29 for Buffalo. Here's Sweeney with a swept shot over the shoulder of Richter. Honey clearing it right back in while the rest of the forwards get on side. 1-0 Rangers. Leach sending it into the corner. Bodger plays it high along the glass. Alexei Karpotzev kicks it along. Pearson checked by the Ranger blue liner. Adam Graves. Dueling LaFontaine in the corner. Messier setting it up in front. Bodger gets it back out to center. He one-arms it over the Rangers line. Here's Jay Wells tipping it over to Graves. Rick wide to an open Mark Messier. Now one-on-one with Schmelik. Drop pass over to Verbeek, but the Rangers are got for offside.
Mark Messier in full flight going down the right wing, hit the blue line and had the puck jump up in the air and put himself offside. There was some question about whether Messier was going to play tonight. Apparently suffering from a migraine headache this afternoon, and it was in question even during the warm-ups. A great career for Messier. Over 1,300 points, and he continues to lead this club this year in scoring.
He's also hampered by hand injury.
Yeah, he's a sore thumb, and still with 14 goals and 20 assists.
Made a remark yesterday after their practice to the media saying that this team will get it together. Games remaining for the Rangers. They're leading it 1-0 off a goal by Brian Noonan. Looking for more.
See the play again coming up to LaFontaine. LaFontaine must get the puck out of the zone. Wasn't able to do it. And here come the Rangers again.
Oster stopping it from the right point. His wrist shot bounces off the stick of Hashik. Schmeling hits it along the near side. Presley trying to get it out. Lowe stops that one and sets the play up. Low shot well wide of the Buffalo net. Here's Presley again to Howard Chuck. Out to center to Jason Dahl, who floats it across the Rangers line. 4:30 left to play here in this first period. 1-0 Rangers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hey, hockey fans. There's a new official in the NHL. One that's making a big hit. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsors of the NHL. Goes down easy and icy smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, an official you'll like.
Get the best of us. Get the best of Paddock Chevy Geo.
Paddock Chevy Geo has over 100 prisms with options and features where you can get the best for only $149 per month. Or the 95 Geo Tracker, a fun sport utility to start your summer in. Lease now for only $169 per month or finance for as little as 2.2%.
I'm Dwayne Powell, and I guarantee you'll get the best of us.
The best that you can get. Get the best of Paddock Chevy Geo.
On the Niagara Frontier, your charter bus experts are Grand Tours and Ridge Road Express. When your church, fraternal organization, or sports enthusiast need deluxe motor coach transportation, or your group requires an economical school activity bus, call Grand Tours and Ridge Road Express at this number, 1-800-847-4887. Grand Tours and Ridge Road Express are partners in safe, economical Curtis transportation since 1929. Steve Larmer out at center with Kovalev over the Buffalo line. Everybody on side. But the play is stolen by Donald Audette. And Buffalo challenges across the Rangers line. Audette checked by Leach, but managing to play it deeper into the corner. Bukaboom taking it away and finding Stefan Matteau. 1-0 Rangers here in the first period. Larmer leaving it for Kovalev over the Buffalo line. Here's Kovalev. Creative stick work. And going with that shot off the side of Huddy. Bouncing puck. Finding Karpotsev, finding a shot right on Dominic Hasek. And the puck cleared by Huddy, but captured right at the Buffalo line by the Rangers. They tack away again. Howard Chuck tipping it out to center ice. Leach just outside the Buffalo line to a skating Nedved. That's picked off by Huddy. Flips it back through center and down into the Rangers corner. Just flip it out to center. Nedved trying to field the puck. Hit from behind by Galley. Fans want a call. Walker's got it in his own zone. Hannon blinding it over to Pearson. Now to Sweeney. That's chopped by the Rangers. Leading this game 1-0.
Now the Sabres must pick it up in the physical area of the hockey game. The Rangers have out-muscled them for most of this first period. The Sabres haven't hit anybody, although Galley just knocked somebody down. But they've got to get much tougher, particularly in their own zone.
Hannon setting up shot, but not for long in the Rangers zone. They come right back. Zubov, number 21, with a wrist shot off the stick of Galley. Hannon leaving it for Schmeling. 13-3 in shots Rangers. Brian Noonan scoring the goal. Here's 35-year-old Kevin Lowe clearing it back out to center. A little bit of a traffic jam. Messier breaks free. Sends it across the Buffalo line to Adam Graves. Here's Graves. Top of the slot. Verbeek scores! Oh, you can see that one coming.
Same old story again. Adam Graves bumps Richard Schmelik off the puck in the corner. One-on-one battle lost by Buffalo. The puck goes to the front of the net, and Verbeek drills it just inside the goalpost. Watch the play in the corner right here as Graves comes up with a puck, and Verbeek finishes it off. But the play was made by Adam Graves as he out-muscled Schmelik, and Verbeek finished it. 2-0 New York.
Former Hartford Whaler captain Pat Verbeek making it 2-0. Buffalo trying to get on the scoreboard here in the closing minutes of this first period. Rangers just out hustling and out bustling Buffalo. Zubov over to Messier. He's got Verbeek along with Graves over the Buffalo line. Messier still with that puck from behind the Buffalo net until Schmelik rode him off. Graves takes over. Uda clears it up to the near side. Uda waiting. Pat LaFontaine now up to Presley. Over the Rangers line goes LaFontaine and Daw. Tips it into the corner. Leach sticks it out. Here's back into the frame of your television screen as Messier lightly tips it over the Buffalo line, and the Rangers go for a change. 1 minute left here in the first period. 2-0 New York. Tunneled on deck. It's hammered by Bookaboo. Here's Stefan Matteau. Right back into the Buffalo zone to the near side of Hasek. Rebound Larmer. He couldn't play it. Coveton comes in to help. Jars it to Leach. Pinches in. Off the side of Huda. Here's Huddy. Waddell out at center, and he just gets it across the Rangers line. Goldman starts it up for the Rangers. Fielded back down by Bodger. Intercepted by Noonan, one of the goal scorers tonight. To plow his way in front of Hasek. Roger Gisk out to the line. Noonan back in. Good defensive play by Cali. He's hit hard by Nemchinov. 5 seconds left. And the Ranger fans here at the Garden on their feet. 2 goals on 15 shots. Nothing to show for Buffalo on 3. Coming up in our first intermission, we'll be talking live tonight. Sabres winger Brad May, the 2-minute power play back at our studios with Mike Robitaille, and we'll have highlights of this first period tonight from Madison Square after this timeout.
I used to think it would take me years to learn the techniques of master woodworkers, until I got my hands on The Art of Woodworking from Time Life Books. These spiral-bound volumes bring you a lifetime of woodworking wisdom with safe, practical, step-by-step advice from expert woodworkers, from how to select and finish wood to the secrets of perfect joinery and how to build dozens of time-saving jigs.
Call this toll-free number to order cabinet making, now specially priced at just $9.99. Use your credit card and receive this free bonus video, Shop Secrets from Master Craftsmen. Future woodworking volumes will arrive once about every month at the regular price of $19.99. Keep only those you want. Cancel anytime. Keep the free video no matter what.
The Art of Woodworking gives you the confidence to tackle any project and the how-to advice to complete it with results you'll be proud of.
Call 1-800-362-3838 to order cabinet making, now specially priced at just $9.99. Use your credit card and get a free Shop Secrets video. That's 1-800-362-3838. Call now.
Now you can own a special 3-part NASCAR racing video set featuring the most exciting NASCAR races, drivers, and behind-the-scenes action, all for only $19.95. Part 1 is NASCAR's greatest races. See Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, and others in rare video footage of the most dramatic head-to-head, no-holds-barred racing battle. Part 2 is racing's toughest tracks and turns. You'll go speeding into the tortuous high banks of Bristol and the legendary fourth turn at Darlington, plus all the hottest racetracks. Part 3 is NASCAR's legends, the big names that shape the sport, like Junior Johnson, Bobby Allison, Bill France Sr., Fireball Roberts, and more. All superstars that made NASCAR racing what it is today. All 3 NASCAR programs on one VHS video, plus a free set of NASCAR decals, all for only $19.95.
Call now 1-800-799-8212 with your credit card ready. Call 1-800-799-8212 right now.
First period was a tough one on Dominic Hasek.
He didn't get much support in his own zone. The Rangers with 15 shots on goal. And New York physically had the edge over the Sabres during that first 20 minutes.
For the start of tonight's game, John Muckler gathered the media down outside the Sabres dressing room to announce the fact that he has reached terms of the Sabres #1 draft choice of this past draft year, 17th overall, Brian Holzinger. He is supposed to join the club this evening here in New York and will fly to Quebec to practice with them tomorrow.
Yes, and John Muckler was saying that they're going to have a look at him in practice. He really, I guess they're a little bit concerned about his conditioning. It's been 2 weeks since he's played, so they're going to have a look at him and then make a decision from there on what course to follow with Brian Holzinger.
Lee Baker Award winner Brian Holzinger, now a part of the Sabres family. Here in the second period, underway with the Rangers again down into the Sabres zone. This is John Gertler along with Jim Lorenz and also Mike Side with us. Here in the second period is Brad May. Presley over the Rangers line, doing some nice stick work on his own and just almost snuck one through the pads of Richter.
An outstanding play by Wayne Presley. He was hoping that there might be a tripping penalty on this, but Presley maneuvering around the defenseman. Wayne came close to scoring on this great play by Wayne Presley.
Wayne Presley's had a heck of a year. He's great with that puck, and he's got nifty moves, and it shows right there.
That should have been a penalty. Brian Leach tripped him up with the right skate after Presley had Leach beaten. The Sabres did not get the call, and there'll be a face-off in the New York zone. We're joined by Brad May in the broadcast booth. Brad, what do you think John Muckler said to his hockey club in that first intermission?
Well, I think first of all we have to establish a forecheck, and I'm sure he showed us on the chalkboard what to do, and we have to get more physical, I think, out there.
See what happens here in the opening minutes of this second period. Puck is going in the Sabres corner, then cleared back over to the far side where Huda finds an open Donald Audette. 19 goals coming into this evening's game for Donald Audette. Play along to the near side. Donald Audette trying to get it out over to Yuri Himolev. Zubov tips it. Now Galley pinching in on the play. Taking a look at things from behind. Shot straight on by Himolev. It bounces to the right side of Richter. Good check by Galley on Stefan Matteau. Kovalev overskating the puck as Huda sticks with Kovalev. Matteau's shot is blocked by Galley. Rebound Wells off the blocking pad of Hasek. And that one trickles all the way out to center. 2-0 Rangers here in the second period. Galley back out to center. Wells backhanding it into the Sabres zone. Here's Plant. Out now is Scott Pearson as the puck goes off the stick of Hasek over the glass and into the crowd.
Nice play by Dominic Hasek as he intentionally deflected the puck up over the glass to get that face-off. He had a Ranger all alone in front of him. Hasek knew that his team needed a face-off and deflected the puck into the crowd. The Sabres, though, with a couple of scoring chances early. This is Himolev, and Howardchuk just pokes that loose puck in front of the net wide. And notice how Howardchuk managed to get position with that stick on the ice, ready to try to bat the loose puck by the goaltender, but was unable to do it on that play.
It's an interesting line here, isn't it, Brad May, with Bob Sweeney at center along with Derek Plant and newly acquired Scott Pearson.
Yes, definitely. Bob's a big guy, and I think Scotty Pearson out there, he's probably a little tired from the move from Edmonton, but he's got the puck, and he may go down and score now.
Figured in goal scoring in the 2 games he's played in over the weekend. scored in Hartford and picked up an assist in the Sabres 6-5 loss to the Bruins on Sunday afternoon. Here come the Rangers over the line. Good with a shot off the stick of Hasek. Rebound Noonan. Going to get a ball back for Nedved. Whirl around play. Chinoff trying to dig from the corner. Plant out maneuvering, and the puck is cleared by Buffalo. Here's Scott Pearson over the line. There's power along the end boards into the Rangers zone. One arms it right over to Sweeney. Sweeney from the corner, kicking his way. Now at that forehand off the skates, and Noonan's got it. Over to Jay Wells, Alexei Karpotza clears it out to center. Nice pass over the line. And Chinoff hit hard by Huddy. Matthew Barnaby. That's batted by the Rangers just outside the Buffalo line. Coming across is Nathan Lafayette. Fired. Trading deadline date from the St. Louis Blues. Rob Ray getting it out. Jeff Boogeboom just shooting it back in for the Rangers. Leading this game 2-0 and out shooting Buffalo 19-5. Goal scoring coming back in the first period. Noonan at 13:02 and Verbeek at the 18-minute mark. Hear the talking going on out there, and also the hitting. Here's Schmelik just out in front of the net. Storming the left side is Leach. Now Kiprios for a shot. And saved by Hasek. Rebound. Boogaloo. Honey just flip it out and trying to settle things down in the Sabres zone. And an icing call coming up against Buffalo. Stopping things with 16:06 left here in the second period. 2-0 Rangers.
If hockey were as easy as banking at Fleet, the game might look something like this. Take the Fleet Select card, for example. It works like a check, but it's as easy to use as a credit card. So there's nothing to get in your way.
Dad. It's been a long trip, son. How about throwing me a cold one?
Just like old times, huh, Dad?
Just like the old days. This isn't a Pepsi.
I know. I saved 9 cents.
Unbelievable. Kid saved a lousy 9 cents.
This looks more like Brian Leach. Watch him move in from his point position and make a great pass to number 19, Kiprios. Watch the left hand of Hasek as he makes a brilliant stop to keep the score 2-0 New York. Of course, the key to this game right now, from Buffalo's perspective, is to score the next goal. The Rangers go up 3-0, then you're in really a lot of trouble.
Graves digging from behind, trying to wrap around off the stick of Hasek. Gaw struggling to get out of his own zone. Verbeek sending it right in. Hasek out for a little stroll as it trickles to the near side. LaFontaine overskates the puck. Rangers have got it down into the Buffalo corner. Messier checked by LaFontaine. Graves. Down. Shot by Verbeek off the stick of Hasek. Rangers all over the place in the Sabres zone. Here's Leach again. Over to Graves. Checked by Muni. Following up is the Rangers captain, Messier. Boogaboo's wrist shot gloved by Hasek, and he won't take any chances with the likes of Mark Messier, Adam Graves, and Pat Verbeek.
Now, the Ranger defense, Jeff Boogeboom included, doing a great job of pinching in on the Buffalo forwards. I'm just wondering, Brad May, if the Sabres wingers should position themselves maybe a little deeper in the Buffalo zone so that defense has a little bit of problem getting into them.
Well, what Muck instructs us to do in practice is to get down below the hash marks, and we haven't been doing that in the last couple of games. And as you can see, when Jeff Boogeboom pinches from the point there, you know, the winger has no time to react and no time to make a play. We have to get lower, but below those hash marks to make effective plays.
The intense eyes of Mark Messier lining up for the face-off left side of the Buffalo net. Draw won by the Rangers. Subban shot blocked into traffic. Goes all the way back down into New York territory. Something unfamiliar for Buffalo here in the second period. Graves to Lowe. Intercepted off the stick of Muni. Hit by Presley. Lowe trying to get it away from LaFontaine, who takes Lowe to the ice. Muni shooting it in for the Sabres. 22-5 in shots. Rangers leading it 2-0. Himonev with a nice check on. Graves getting it out to center. Kovalev over the Buffalo line with Verbeek and Zubov. Here's Zubov and Verbeek shooting it wide. Galley is there for the Sabres. Doug Huda brings it out to center. Himonev. Get it right off his skates. Kovalev sending it back to Zubov. Now Kovalev and Zubov combine together. Set up the play. Intercepted by Huda, shooting it wide. Rebound in front. Hawerchuk just blasting it to the left side of Richter. Great pass by Himonev. Rides over the glass and into the crowd. Brad May and Jim Lorenz, the Sabres are getting a little closer.
That was a good giveaway by the Rangers in the zone that created that eventual scoring chance. Brad, watching that Dale Hawerchuk in the slot one-on-one against Richter, and I thought maybe he just shot this puck over the net, or did it hit someone?
Well, I think he went over the net. He went high. Dale usually scores on that. He's a guy that can find any hole in the net if the goalie gives it to him. You know, when Yuri gets a chance like that, he can make that nice pass as well. It's just too bad we didn't cash in.
Pretty good piece of goaltending, though, on that, too, as Richter came out, really didn't commit himself too early.
Richter challenges the shooter a lot, and a lot of times he gets beat, but most of the time he can make that save and force you to shoot wide.
Rangers send it down in the Sabres corner. Larimer checking Galley. Huda. Pass up to Hawerchuk, and Huda's got it at his own line. Again, a nice pass by Doug Huda this time to Donald Audette over the line with Yuri Himonev. Here's Himonev trying to feed a fast skating Hawerchuk, but the play is busted by the Rangers. Leading this game 2-0. 13:26 remaining. Second period over the line is Stefan Matteau. His wrist shot well wide. Pearson and Kovalev combine together, digging around there as well as Derek Plant. Poke free. Noonan kicking it along with a skate of his blade of his skate, that is. Pearson getting it out to center. Nedved just sending it back in for the Rangers. Here's Noonan. Open the scoring of tonight's game, and we are going to have a penalty, and tempers start to warm up here at the Garden. Scott Pearson is in a bear hug now with Jay Wells.
That happened out in the neutral zone when the puck was back in the Buffalo corner, and a slashing penalty coming up to the New York Rangers.
Hey, hockey fans. There's a new official in the NHL. One that's making a big hit. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsors of the NHL. Goes down easy and icy smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light. An official you'll like.
Since the beginning, you could always depend on your neighborhood for whatever you needed for your family vacation. Even when you needed a car with more trunk space.
This is Danny Garrow. When I visit Buffalo, I can always count on Thrifty Car Rental. 2 convenient locations to serve you, Millersport Highway in Amherst and Genesee Street across from the airport.
So whether you're traveling in your neighborhood or to someone else's, we're there. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Intermission guests receive gifts from Hooligans Downtown, home of the pregame Deluxe Express Buffet for $7.95. When coming to the Odd for Any event, check out Hooligans Downtown.
Peter Nedved called 2 minutes for slashing, and here's an opportunity for Buffalo to get on the board, trailing by 2-0. As the Sabres will work on their second power play of the night, and LaFontaine goes to center, along with Sweeney on right wing, and Donald Audette on left wing.
And if you just joined us, Alexander Mogilny is not playing this evening, suffering from a pinched nerve in his neck. He did not travel with the club here to New York. And we do not know his status for Friday night in Quebec against the Nordiques. Bill Hawerchuk sending it over the Rangers line. LaFontaine tipping it into the corner to Bob Sweeney. Trying to dig it out along the boards. They do so. Bodger. Now Howard with a shot. Richter comes up with a big save. Good swarming by the Buffalo forwards, and Sweeney on net and LaFontaine.
That's what they want Bob Sweeney to do on the power play. Go to the front of the net, and he got there. Just failed to deflect this shot as it came in from Howard from the right point. And Howard using the wrist shot. All you kids watching tonight, you don't have to slap the puck back from back at that point every time.
A lot of good players on a power play. Just wrist the puck on net. And that's all. It's just got to get there for the forward to tip it in. Get a stick on it.
Face off left side of the Rangers net from the draw, won by LaFontaine. Here's Howard immediately over to Bodger. Trying to tame that bouncing puck just inside the Rangers line. It struck out, and Larmer forces the Sabres to regroup.
That was a good play by Larmer. He knew that Doug Bodger was in trouble on that puck, chasing it over against the boards, and he took advantage of him, and the Rangers cleared it.
Donald Audette, power play expert for Buffalo this season, one-arms it to a reaching Howard Top of the slot is Bodger. LaFontaine pulls the trigger, but it's wide. Rebound, Howard That's stopped by LaFontaine. Back to Howard Audette. It hits the side of the post. But the goal judge says it went in with the light on. Play continues. You can't get any faster than that, and I'm sure the video goal judge will be taking a look at it. In the meantime, Nathan Lafayette shot straight on to Hasek, who will stop the play. Wow. Everybody just regrouped here with 11:36 remaining second period.
Here comes a standing ovation for Mike Richter. He made an incredible save as Donald Audette thought he had scored a goal. Beautiful passing play to the front of the net. Watch at the bottom of the screen.
That's in.
Oh, that puck may be in the net.
I think Donald scored that.
Brad May.
That's by the line.
Making the call, the stick of the goaltender. Let's look from this angle. You cannot see the puck. But let's say if we could cue up that first angle on the replay, it looked as though the puck might have been across the line when the goaltender stopped it with his goal stick. Well, Donald Audette immediately threw his arms up in the air that he had scored a goal.
Just the official mark, the play is under review as we speak.
There's Donald Audette. There's a goal stick that goes down on the ice by Richter.
That's over the line. It's shadowed by his blocker, though.
Yeah, it shadowed you. Once it goes into the shadow of the blocker or into that dark background, you lose sight of the puck.
Richard Trottier, the referee, still talking with the video goal judge, and now the other phone is for the actual goal judge.
He put the light on.
Yes,
the goal judge put the light on. There was no question about that. And did signal a goal.
We need this, Jim. We really do.
This is a huge play from Buffalo. Well, for both teams, of course. This would put Buffalo on the board and make the score 2-1 New York.
John Muckler waiting in anticipation.
And that all started by Pat LaFontaine finding that man open on the right side.
Here's Howard sending it across to Donald Audette. The right stick goes down on the ice. And there we just cannot track the puck. Did it go across the line or was it stopped by the goaltender? We do not have access to the sky cams or the overhead cameras here at Madison Square Garden.
No goal.
They have denied the Sabres the goal, despite the celebration of Donald Audette, who was probably the best witness of it. And again, one of the rules of a goal being scored is the puck must cross the goal line in entirety.
Now they're playing a replay here at Madison Square Garden. John Muckler standing up on the bench, watching the replay and pointing to the screen and saying, we can see it. It went in. So a break for the New York Rangers and a faceoff coming up in the Buffalo zone. 11:36 to go in the period. 36 seconds left in the Buffalo power play.
What does this do to the team psyche, Brad May?
Well, I think, you know, the guys have to regroup. It's going to be hard, but, you know, we have to put that behind us and go out this shift, you know, with Patty at center, Wayne Presley, who's played well all year, and Donald.
We'll go to the face-off left side of the Buffalo net. Trying to set up the power play. Out of their own zone is Doug Bodger. Down by a score of 2-0 here in the second period. On deck, giving it to the line of LaFontaine. That's poked out off the stick of Leach. Bodger along with Galley. Bounces over to LaFontaine. Got by Bookeboom, and he just let it ride into the Sabres zone. Presley is the backup. Galley leaving it to Bodger. Nice lead pass off the stick of Audette. Presley tips it to the near side. He's expired against the Rangers. They're back to full strength as Nedved skates into the action. Here's Leach from the corner. Tipping it up to Nemchinov. Back out to the Buffalo line. And Schmelik given a little hassle by Nedved. Here's Presley, but a two-line pass violation stops things with 10 minutes and 41 seconds left here in this second period. 2-0 Rangers.
Dale Hawerchuk making a great play to get the puck to Audette on that disputed no goal for Buffalo. And Hawerchuk, one of the greatest playmakers I think this game has ever seen. And he can also score some goals, of course, averaging 30 or more in the last 10 seasons.
Brad, before we let you go, give us one of the points that John Muckler discussed with the team this morning here at Madison Square in your meeting.
In our meeting, well, first of all, we have to get, obviously I keep saying pressure up front, but the defense have to move up with the forwards and not allow a gap to occur between the forwards and the defense. And what we've seen all night is the forwards get, whether we don't get the pressure right away, there's a gap that forms, and the New York defensemen can pick that apart and send it back 3-on-2, and we've seen that all night long.
Play more as a unit.
Play more as a unit.
We're looking forward to your return, and thanks so much for joining us here in the broadcast booth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Brad May.
I think I did all right, guys?
I thought you did an exceptional job. Thanks again to Brad May taking time to come up here to our broadcast location here at Madison Square. Also talking with him between the periods. And one guy who is waiting with anticipation to get back into the lineup is Brad May. Rangers down in the Sabres zone from the corner. There's Twimelnev with a shot straight on. Up by Buffalo. Schmelik getting it over to Yuri Himelnev. Dawes up front for Buffalo along with Dale Hawerchuk. That shot out. Zubov will try the other side. Low to Mateau, and it's cleared in. We're at the halfway point of this second period. Rangers leading it 2-0 off goals by Pat Furby and Brian Noonan. They want to try to make it 3 years as they storm around. Intercepted by Himelnev, and they just passed it right over to Larmer. Zubov up to Mateau. Here's Larmer. And at the Buffalo line, nicely poked by Huddy. Himelnev is pulled down from behind. Play is sent in, and Buffalo changes up on the fly. Scott Pearson skates out with Derek Glenn and Bob Sweeney. Here's Gary Galley. On with Doug Huda now, backhanding it to the doorstep of Richter, and those are tough to handle. Wells leaving it to the near side. Noonan. Karpotzev. Up to Nemchinov over the line in Nedved. There's some disturbance down in the Buffalo corner. Glenn holding off Jay Wells with 9 minutes and ticking left here in the second period. 2-0 off a goals by Noonan and Verbeek.
Grandpa, do you remember your first Pepsi?
1926 at Homer's General Store. Pepsi number 2, cheap seats. Wrigley Field. Pepsi 812, the stock market crash. Pepsi 3922, Spam was invented. 14,030, your dad repeated 3rd grade. And this is Pepsi 21,004, Kathy.
Kelly.
Kelly?
Kelly.
I knew that. I think I knew that.
So what's this hole?
385 yards.
And the direction?
Let me see.
If golf were as easy as banking at Fleet,
137.5 degrees.
the game might look something like this.
Fire when ready.
Take Fleet Fast Equity, for example. You can get up to a $25,000 home equity loan in your hands in 10 days.
Nice shot.
Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it?
That's 18 for 18.
Here's tonight's trivia quiz brought to you by Bagel Brothers Bakery and Deli. Breakfast, lunch, or any time, Bagel Brothers is the place.
Well, how about a hint? He plays in the Eastern Conference.
All right. We'll have the answer for you in just a couple of moments. Face off just inside the Buffalo line. Gary Galley taking it, sending it up along the glass. Face-offs in the first period kind of split, Jim. The Rangers 5-4 over Buffalo.
Sabres lost a couple of face-offs in their own zone that very nearly cost them a goal. Sabres playing a little better here in the second period, but the Rangers continue to lead 2-0.
If you went away for a while, Buffalo was working on its second power play of the game. It appeared that Donald Audette had scored a goal, but after further review by the video goal judge and a chat with the actual goal judge, the goal was denied.
Dominic Hasek makes a good decision as he likes to keep the play moving. Doesn't like to hold the puck for a face-off unless it's absolutely necessary. That time, there was a player right on his right side of it. He held for the face-off. Derek Plant playing center between Scott Pearson and Bob Sweeney. It's turned into a pretty good line in the last couple of games for Buffalo.
He gets a call to the Buffalo bench, and John Buckler puts out Dave Hannon at center now. Between these two big wingers of Pearson and Sweeney. Take a look at the Noco Express Shop scoreboard update. A lot of games for you tonight, especially in the Eastern Conference. And Mike Robitaille will have them for you after this second period. Ever so important game for Buffalo. Down 2-0. Hannon brings them out through center of the line. Sweeney slap shot blocked off the pads of Leach. Here's Nathan Lafayette, number 22 for New York. The highly touted young players in the NHL. Supposed to earn a regular job with the St. Louis Blues, but something happened.
Well, he came over actually from the Vancouver Canucks as the Rangers traded Corey Hirsch for Nathan Lafayette.
Here's Lafayette. Out to center, cleared on the line by Kyprios. Bodger getting it out to Jason Daw. LaFontaine awaits at the Rangers line while Daw sets up shot from the left point. Presley tipped it out in front. Messier's there. LaFontaine's got it. Now poked by Lowe. Buddy backs up to the right point. The shot is blocked. Rebound to the near side. Messier tipping it deeper over to Zubov. Second period action. 7:03 remaining. 2-0 New York. At Verbeek, one of the goal scorers, just sends it back into his own zone. Where Zubov backhands it out to Messier. Tips it across the Buffalo line. Big storming after that puck, and a big check on Richard Schmelik, who's jarred off the puck and then comes back up with it. And Graves hooking away on Schmelik. Now finds LaFontaine. Audette. Over the New York line. Zubov. Off that into the corner. That comes back up with it just across. The Rangers crease and Audette is hit into the face with another penalty coming up against the Rangers. Power play opportunity number 3 for Buffalo coming up. As Jay Wells goes to the penalty box. Here is the answer of the trivia quiz.
And of course, the answer is Ray Bourque to the Boston Bruins. Boy, Donald Audette made a great play as he outmuscled Zubov in the corner, cut to the front of the net, and Jay Wells flattened him with a cross-check. And Buffalo now with a chance to go on the board. With the faceoff coming up to the left of the Ranger net. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the second period. New York with 2 first-period goals by Brian Noonan and Pat Verbeek. And the Sabres with Howard, Chuck Himmelhev, Audette, Bodger, and Galley on defense. Gary Galley will be my guest in the second intermission. This is the type of game, too. I don't think you're going to see many power plays, and when you have the advantage, boy, you must take advantage of it.
Galley trying to keep the play inside the Rangers zone, unable to do so. Everybody gets on sides while Himmelett shoots it in. Richter sets the play up for Bookaboo, who just booms it along the boards. Jay Wells in the penalty box. Sabres bring it out of their zone. This is Doug Bodger. Right to the Rangers line with Howard, Chuck, Himmelett, and on down. Bodger stuck into the corner. Larmer's got it. Clears.
A play like that, Doug Bodger carries the puck all the way from end to end. He must get some help from a forward. Bodger ends up in the corner by himself against a Ranger defenseman. One of the forwards has to get in there to outnumber New York in the zone. That was a very poor play by Buffalo.
Sabres will try it again. Bodger leads the way for Buffalo. Off the skate of Howard Chuck. Out of LaFontaine. Stops it over to Audette. Here's Galley. Tried to feed it in front of Richter as LaFontaine awaited to the left side, but the Rangers come right back out. Zubov to Messier over the line. 3 shorthanded goals for Messier. Here's Graves with a shorthanded shot right on the stick of Hashik. Galley gets it out to Sweeney. Tips it up. Right over to LaFontaine. 25 seconds left in the power play for Buffalo, and Messier frustrates Sabres even more. Buddy over to LaFontaine. He's taken off the puck. Daw leaves it to Schmelik. He can't play it. Forced to the near side. That's chopped by a Rangers stick. Back over the Buffalo line it goes. And the Rangers are back to full strength. Sabres 0 for 3 on the power play so far in this game. And down 2-0. Here's Presley over the line, awaiting for LaFontaine and Daw. He's chopped down by Bookaboo. LaFontaine backing up, gets a big hit by Bookaboo. Larmer comes in to help for the Rangers. Play continues. Up to the top of the slot, and a whistle stops things with 3:55 left here in the second period.
When the game is on, if the action gets too rough, remember, the ice is always smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, official beer sponsors of the NHL.
Western New York's giant Ford dealer. Jim Doyle Ford presents gigantic savings on their huge inventory of Ford cars and trucks. Jim Doyle Ford is bursting at the seams with the largest inventory of cars and trucks in Jim Doyle Ford's history. It's an explosion of savings at Western New York's giant Ford dealer. Right now, save big at Jim Doyle Ford, 3330 Delaware Avenue in Kenmore, just south of Sheridan Drive.
Coming up in our second intermission, Jim will be talking with one of the new Sabre players, defenseman Gary Galley. A 2-minute power play with Mike Robitaille and highlights of this second period from Madison Square Garden. As we had mentioned in the first period, the circus is in town, and they had a 1 o'clock show here.
I did my traditional go-around here in Madison Square Garden. They keep the animals out in the corridors in the basement here. And I spent some time before tonight's game walking around, looking at the elephants and the tigers.
Is everybody well cared for?
Oh, yes.
All the animals?
Yes, sir. They treat them well.
You have to realize that this ice surface is on the 5th floor of the building.
And they are.
Hang on, here is Derek Plant, knocks on the door. Richter gets the rebound from Bodger. Sabres with some good pressure. Sweeney chops at it off the stick of Wells. Karpotsev is there and finds an open Peter Nedved. Short flurry for Buffalo. This line continues to work hard. Scott Pearson, Bob Sweeney, and Derek Plant.
That's a good combination. You've got some size and some strength on the wings, and Derek Plant, very quick centerman, of course. And I think with Pearson and Sweeney, that opens up a little extra ice for Plant. That's one of the reasons why the line has been, I think, pretty good in the last 2 or 3 games. Well, they've been together for the second game now.
2:38 left to play, second period. Goal scoring by the Rangers in the first period by Brian Noonan and Pat Verbeek. Getting it across the line is Stefan Matteau. Hasek sweeps it along over to Audette, heavily covered. Hannon breaks free. Back over to Galley. Who's an open Yuri Jimenez, but lost it right at the Rangers line. Flipped out, loved by Huda, plays it immediately to the ice and shoots it in. Richter out for a little skate. Setting the play up for Kevin Lowe to the near side. Hannon with a nice check. Got a piece of that puck. Oh, playing it back behind the net. Rangers out shooting Buffalo 24-11. Loose puck at LaFontaine, left side of Richter. Zubov got it to the near side. Alexei Kovalev skating out through center. He's got Matteau with him. Here's Kovalev. Between his legs to Zubov. Pitching in part of the play down to the Sabres zone. Good check by Jason Daw. No check by Schmelik. Jarring that puck out to center as Presley goes after it. LaFontaine brings it across the Rangers line. Here's LaFontaine. Nice move. Presley pulls the trigger. Off the glove of Richter. Rebound. Daw. Richter again. Second half glory for Buffalo, but the Rangers, Mark Messier, stopped by Hasek's glove. Well, with 1:10 remaining here in the second period, Buffalo almost found net.
Doesn't take Messier long to go from A to B, does it? Boy, he picked up that puck in the neutral zone. In an instant, he was right in and on top of Dominic Hasek. But great action at both ends of the rink that began in the New York zone and was ended by the Messier opportunity and Hasek at the other end. Well, face-off coming up to the right of Hasek with 1:10 to go here in the second period. Here's a scoring chance for Presley as a puck is stopped by the left arm or the left glove of the goaltender, Richter. Buffalo with a total of 12 shots on goal. That makes it 9 here in the second. The Rangers also with 9. First period totally dominated by New York.
Certainly better than the 3 the Sabres had in the first period. Here's Bodger. Out through center with a full head of steam over the Rangers line with Jimenez. Richter will cover up on that one. Audette cruised in as well as Dale Howard tucked. 58 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Doug Bodger's had a good game tonight. He's made a number of excellent rushes, being teamed with Gary Galley. And both players very good with the puck. And I'm sure they want Bodger to rush the puck, to jump up front with the forwards. He does that as well as any Buffalo defenseman, and he's done it well here tonight.
He's been figuring in the offense of late. 6 assists in his last 11 games.
He also has a great shot from the point. He doesn't get enough credit for it. He can really gun the puck.
Here's Messier. That's a good play by Galley. Audette sends it back across the Rangers line as it bounces into the corner, tipped up to the side. Verbeek couldn't play it, but Messier does. Over the Buffalo line. Here's Messier setting it up in front for Grade, who is denied off the stick of Bodger. 25 seconds left here in the second period. Rangers looking to make it 3-0, but that goes off the side of Hasek. Now Bookaboo with a slap shot, tips in front wide. Verbeek is pulled down from behind. Fans want a call. Galley clears it up to Audette. Off the skates of Howard Chuck and over the Buffalo line. Fresh forces over the Buffalo bench. And the period ends, however, with a fisticuffs going to the near side, and that's Pat Verbeek, I believe, involved.
And Scott Pearson. And it was Bookaboo who came and grabbed Pearson from behind as Verbeek and Pearson were going at each other with high sticks and elbows.
Well, if Buffalo can carry the intensity that they had here in the second half of this second period. Turned out to be a positive effect for period number 3.
Right against the boards is where it began as Verbeek and Pearson say hello to each other.
And the period ends. Jim Lorenz and Gary Galley coming up after this commercial timeout from Madison Square Garden.
Before you call this toll-free number, spend a minute with Ed McMahon.
I've been telling you about Inter-America Life Insurance for almost 10 years. I'm proud of that because I don't think you can find a company that cares more about folks over 50, especially those who want help in taking care of their own final expenses. They're determined to keep life insurance affordable and your acceptance guaranteed. Because of a 2-year limited benefit period, you simply cannot be turned down. They offer simple, whole life insurance protection, priced in units at $6.95 a month. Many folks 50 and over don't think they can get life insurance without a medical exam or answering embarrassing health questions. But they can. To find out more, call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-990-4040 and receive this free guide to Social Security. Call 1-800-990-4040. That's 1-800-990-4040. Call now.
For performance sailors, just sailing isn't the point. It's how well they do it. If you want to improve your sailing performance, you should read Sailing World too. Every month, Sailing World's experts show you how to sharpen your techniques. You'll learn how to maneuver small boats in tight quarters and large ones where inches count. Sailing World will keep you up to date on regional events and major regattas like the America's Cup. We'll bring you the hottest new designs, from the cutting edge of professional sailing to changes in the boats sailing out of your own harbors. But that's not all. With Sailing World, you'll catch the latest developments on the sailing scene. We'll help you be the best you can be with columns that count, like Tactics, Women in Sailing, The Need for Speed, and The Art of Crewing.
Call 800-807-2800. Steer a course for better sailing. Subscribe to Sailing World by calling 800-807-2800 today.
This period of Sabres hockey is brought to you in part by the new Dodge. Come see your Team Dodge dealer. By Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. By the Discover card. It pays to discover. And by the Pepsi-Cola bottlers of Western New York. Fans, this Sunday, April 16th, is a student ID night as the Sabres welcome the Ottawa Senators back to the Odd. At a 7 o'clock game, students can catch all the action at a great price. Take any student ID to the Odd box office and get $4 off Upper Blue tickets and up to $9 off Orange tickets. That's Sunday against the Ottawa Senators. Third period underway. Power play for Buffalo.
Boom took a penalty right at the end of the period for cross-checking or high-sticking Scott Pearson.
Good time for the Sabres to establish the power play presence, and it'll be set up by LaFontaine. He was hit hard into the near side, lost the puck. In to help is Audette. Running there forward is Sweeney. Not much room to work for Audette and Sweeney as they tip it back up along the board. To the near side. Penalty going to Boom for roughing. Top of the slot, right side of Richter. Turning it into the corner. Audette is there with the setting up the play. Here's Gary Galley. Now to Bodger, tips it over to Audette. LaFontaine. Back to Audette. Buffalo looking for their first goal of this hockey game. As Audette views things, goes over to Galley with a wrist shot in front. Sweeney scores! Buffalo on the scoreboard. Power play works this time. And the Sabres strike hard with Bob Sweeney in front.
The Sabres exactly getting what they wanted. Score on the power play. Watch this marvelous play by Bob Sweeney in front of the net. His job is to stand, screen the goaltender, attract a defenseman. He does both on this play, and the Rangers just can't get him out of there. Look at Sweeney. I mean, what's Leach doing when he has somebody standing in front of his goaltender. Leach can't be running out to the slot area. That's what he did. And Sweeney ends up just banging the puck between the legs of the goaltender. A classic picture. Sweeney facing the shot from the defenseman, and then Sweeney banging home the rebound.
Great job by Bob Sweeney, scoring his 5th of the season. And bringing that goose egg off the scoreboard here at Madison Square Garden for Buffalo. Sabres score right back into the Rangers zone. Himmelman shooting it just to the right side of Richter. From the corner is Presley trying to feed it up to Himmelman in front. Heavily covered. Here's Lowe. Hassled by Presley. Potter is pinching in on the play as well. Holding up on Steve Larmer. Pursued by Howard Tuck. Low shot. Potter. And Himmelman just screens Richter. Pressing him right down to the ice. Rangers over the line. And then Menteau. Good check by the Sabres. Into the corner. Beauty floats it up high along the boards. Here's Scott Pearson. Didn't get to it. Rangers keeping it in. Kovalev lost it. Howard Tuck tipping it out. Presley out through center with Scott Pearson of the Rangers line as they crisscross. Presley takes a look at Derek Plant. Here's Plant trying to go to the near side. Wrap around. Nobody in front. Huda from the left point. That's blocked. Picked up by Plant. Couldn't get it on his forehand. And the Rangers come over the Buffalo line. Here's Brian Noonan. Open the scoring of tonight's game. Sweeney. This is the Rangers line. A little extracurricular activity going on with Brian Noonan and Doug Huda. While the Buffalo Sabres attempt to score goal number 2. Scott Pearson had a couple of tries. Now he does on 3, but the whistle had blown. Well, Doug Huda and Brian Noonan were wrapped up all the way into the Buffalo corner, and on the other end of the ice surface, Scott Pearson had a couple of opportunities.
Derek Plant with a great play to move around the defense. Pearson in front of the net. Great stop again by Richter. Pearson with the rebound. Had room to score on that, but just could not get the angle to shoot the puck in the top corner. And a penalty coming up to Buffalo as Scott Pearson sits down for tripping on that play. He's shaking his head. He had 2 outstanding scoring chances. One was stopped by that gentleman, Mike Richter, and the other hit the side of the net when Richter was down on the ice, helpless, out of position, and Pearson could not find net. So Buffalo, though, getting back in the game on the power play goal by Sweeney. Gary Galley picks up 1 assist.
Keeps that scoring streak alive. Pearson committing that foul before he had that 3rd opportunity. I don't think he heard the whistle as he whipped it through the legs of Richter, who had eased up after the call of Richard Trottier. 3rd period, 2-1 Rangers. Buffalo on the scoreboard early in this 3rd period. Bob Sweeney on the power play. Rangers working with a man advantage now for only the 2nd time this evening. Frank Zubov, number 21, forced back down by Himmelman. Leach brings it out to the Rangers through center. Here's Adam Graves celebrating his 27th birthday. Leach back over to Messier. Messier from the slot area. The Rangers are forced back out at center. That's Verbeek. 5 power play goals. Cleared out by the penalty killing unit by Buffalo. Wayne Presley, 3 shorthanded goals, looking for 4. That slap shot blocked by Leach. Zubov over the line with Messier. Back to Leach for the shot high over the glass and into the crowd.
Good play by Doug Bodger as he blocked the shot with his right leg, and the puck skipped up over the glass. Face-off coming up to the left of Dominic Hasek.
Broadcast clothing provided by Harry Rosen Menswear, Walden Galleria. We'll go to the face-off left side of the Buffalo net. Always a sellout here at Madison Square Garden. And,
I guess so. They have enough people in this city.
Oh.
My goodness.
Why not just stay here in Manhattan?
And the sidewalks aren't big enough.
Stay down after work. 18,200 on hand here tonight at Madison Square.
Go to the circus in the afternoon, watch a hockey game at night. Tomorrow the circus is back at 1, and a basketball game tomorrow night. And the circus goes back in at 1, and the Rangers play
the Bruins on Friday.
And there's all the rigging from the circus. The animals are down below us out in the corridors. What a great place. Gotta watch where you step back there, though.
Rangers setting up the power play. 22 seconds left in the penalty to Scott Pearson. 2-1 New York. Slip shot wide by Karpotsa. Here's Karpotsa again firing away. Bouncing puck off the stick of Hasek. And there to retrieve it is Dave Hannon. Bob Sweeney hovering out through center over the Rangers line. Scored for Buffalo. Early going to this third period on the power play. And the Sabres are back to full strength. Pearson upending Larmer just hit the line. Well away from the play. Here's Steve Larmer with a shot. Save Hasek and let it go across the Buffalo crease. Bodger getting it out. Bounces into the Rangers zone. Scott Pearson with a full head of steam. One arms that puck. Pearson over to Presley. He couldn't get the shot away, and the Rangers storm back out. It's Noonan across the line with Steve Larmer. Into the Buffalo corner. Huda hacking away. Well, Larmer, he's got it from the other side. Good defensive play by Galley, who's just drilled to the ice surface with a backhand by Noonan. Rangers changing here, affording Buffalo to come through center, unmolested. Huda over the Rangers line, slip shot, save, Richter. Rebound, Presley. Into the corner goes Jason Daw. He's checked by Messier. LaFontaine back to Daw. In poked aside by the Rangers, leading this game 2-1. Messier over the line, 2-on-1 setup. Messier over, trying to get it to Verbeek. Hasek got in the way of that one. Verbeek to the line to Messier. Now to Adam Graves with a wrist shot save. Hasek from the corner. Here's Leach, and Messier tried to one-time that puck after it was set up by Brian Leach. 29-18 in shots. Rangers leading this game 2-1. Third period. Leach in on the zone now from the slot area. Oh, is he having a strong game tonight? Brian Leach. Great shot well wide. Off the stick. Verbeek trying to back it in up the pads of Hasek. Rebound Messier. Hasek catches that puck and will stop this New York surge.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the...
When the game is on, if the action gets too rough, remember, the ice is always smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, official beer sponsors of the NHL.
Every year, one credit card gives you something other credit cards don't. Only the Discover card offers you Cashback Bonus Award. Cash. Over $500 million paid so far. And there's no annual fee. So carry the Discover card and improve your cash flow. It pays to Discover. Accepted wherever you see the Novus Network sign.
Catch all the action of AAA baseball when the Rochester Red Wings take on Norfolk tomorrow night at 7 exclusively on the Empire Sports Network.
And for all those beginner hockey players out there looking for a hockey school, how about the Jim Lawrence Hockey School in August for beginners for ages 4 years old and on up.
Oh, shot by the Rangers. Hasek into position. That rebound, however, sneaks right back to the New York line. Step in Menton to Kevin Lowe. Stopped off the chest of Muni. Bouncing puck. Howard Chuck from the Rangers line. Now to Donald Dudley. Back to Howard Chuck. 7 goals shy of 500. Ed LaFontaine approaching a milestone as well. He's just 1 goal shy of 400. Is poked by Bodger. Good storming by Himolev. Play is intercepted, however, by the Rangers. And here comes Zubov, number 21, over the Buffalo line. Good defensive play by the Sabres. Muni finding it open. Donald Audette. That rode off the blade of his stick while Wells takes a look to his defense partner. Arpoza on the far side. That went over the boards and into the Rangers bench. Our coverage of Sabres hockey continues tonight from Madison Square Garden.
Okay, boss, how about subliminal advertising?
Subliminal?
You know, stimuli that is below the threshold of consciousness.
Thanks for the explanation. We don't have to trick anyone into buying from Northtown. And wait till they see the new programs from Dodge. Pay attention. Roll the tape.
Want to make a Consumer's Digest Best Buy and even better buy? Well, right now, we're offering $1,000 cash back on every Dodge Caravan. Not just some, every one. Add in up to $1,100 in package value discounts, and you can take up to $2,100 off America's best-selling minivan. Or choose 4.9 financing instead. So hurry to the Dodge National Best Buy sale. Right now, current Chrysler Corporation minivan owners get an additional $500 cash back.
Wow, but what about our ad?
People trust the Northtown name. We've been around a long time.
Well, we must be doing something right.
We have the best customer service in Western New York.
So no tricks?
No tricks.
Boy, all of a sudden, I'm really thirsty.
Yes, the New York Rangers with a 2-1 lead over Buffalo. 12 minutes, 33 seconds to go here in the third period.
Eyes with intensity onto the face-off right side of the Rangers net, just to the top of the face-off crease. Roland Campbell was talking earlier about the club's chances that they've had throughout this season, despite the fact that they have a losing record of 15, 19, and 3. They like to use a lot of statistics after the game.
He said practically every game the Rangers have been out-chancing their opponents, and that's...
Here's a chance for Buffalo. Pearson stopped by Richter. Bouncing puck just outside the Rangers line. Oh, Scott Pearson has had a couple of prime opportunities tonight. Leonard Witz attempting to tie up this game. Plant on his knees, back to Sweeney. Backhands it along the end boards. Here's Alexei Karpovtsev. Up to the line, Mr. Gay. Or check that. Nedved over the line. Here's Nairn and Chino. Into the corner. Good checking by Huda. On Noonan. Now Noonan digs again from the corner. This time, hit by Sweeney. Nemchinov got it just off the stick of Hasek. Here's Nedved in front. Good defensive play by Gary Galley. That's clear by Flint. Bookaboo rips it right back in. Leach keeping it in for the left point. Rangers changing up on the fly. Third period, 11:10 remaining. 2-1 the score. Rangers. Messier over the Buffalo line with Verbeek. Shooting it high and wide. Here's Messier. Back to Verbeek. Again, high and wide.
Pat Verbeek must think he's in heaven playing wing with Mark Messier. Messier set him up a number of times tonight. That's twice in the last 30 seconds with marvelous scoring chances.
Everything's on a platter. And it's dished out by Messier. Here's Presley. Trying to feed it in front. Adam Graves. Over the Buffalo line. Messier. Send it for Verbeek. Howard Chuck couldn't play it. Graves backhands it into the corner for an awaiting Messier. Out in front is Honey. Howard Chuck backhands it over the Buffalo line.
Mark Messier has been a dominating player tonight for the Rangers when he's been on the ice. Sabres have not been able to control him.
Zubov from his own corner. To the near side. Howard Chuck trying to keep it in. Himolev does it from the corner. Oddette is hammered by Lowe. Weiler has got it. We've crossed the halfway point of this third period. Rangers leading it by a score of 2-1. Noonan and Verbeek the goal scorers tonight for New York, while Bob Sweeney scores of the power play for Buffalo. Here come the Rangers, 2-on-1. Kovalev to Meto. Hung on to it too long. Now Meto to Wells. Slap shot blocked in front. Rebound to the far side. Heinz Himolev feeding over to Dale Howard Chuck. Out to an open Donald on deck. That's batted right at the New York line. Fresh forces over the Buffalo board. Long shot by a very tired Steve Larmer. Gary Gallick lays it up along the boards. Intercepted by Nedved. He's checked by Plant. Huda uses the glass off the shoulders of Sweeney. Pressure on by New York just inside the Buffalo line. And it's bumped out. Here's Huda. Plant couldn't get there, and an icing call will be assessed on to Buffalo. 8:51 left here, third period. Nobody's moving here at Madison Square.
It's coming. To take cold. To take taste. To take smooth. To the extreme. Introducing Bud Ice. Now brewed to go beyond the others. To be an easier drinking ice. Take smooth to the extreme. Bud Ice.
With more shoulder room, more hip room, and more cargo room than a Ford Ranger or Chevy S10, you could say Dodge Dakota is the perfect size for a truck. And when you can get things like air, cast aluminum wheels, and more for as low as $11,286, you could also say this Dakota 4-cylinder is the perfect size truck for your budget. Dodge Dakota. At America's Truck Stop, your friendly Dodge dealer.
8 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in regulation. 2-1, the Rangers in the lead. You get into a game like this with the standings the way they are, the feeling down on the ice and in the crowd is just like playoff hockey. You have that intensity. You can feel it up here in the booth. And both teams knowing, of course, the importance of the remaining dozen or so games. The Sabres, after tonight, have, what, 11 games to go. And the Rangers, I think, 10.
Right.
And New York fighting for a playoff position. They have 33 points. A win against Buffalo puts them to 35, just 3 behind Sabres.
Right into the thick of things in the Eastern Conference playoff race. Low shot, Tarpotsev. Left him tight as it took a ride off a stick. From the corner is Gary Galley. Up to Bob Sweeney. Out at center to a waiting Scott Pearson. Here's Pearson. Shot straight on to Richter. Looks high over the glass and into the crowd, and give Buffalo credit here in the third period, especially this line of Derek Flint, Scott Pearson, and Bob Sweeney.
Well, Scott Pearson's had an excellent third period. He's had a number of quality scoring chances that have been stopped by the goaltender, Mike Richter. And Pearson getting an opportunity to play regularly with Buffalo, responding with to that extra ice time with a great effort here tonight. You know, we talk about intensity in this time of the year. It's an overused word, I think, in sport. But what it means is you gain an extra step. Everybody on the ice gains an extra step. Instead of maybe giving up or not skating as hard as you could on a back check, well, you give it that extra. And that's what makes the game or adds that extra intensity to the game. Everyone is just going a little bit harder than you normally go.
Sabres have to step it up here in the second half of the third period. Down 2-1. Richard Schmellick's backhand just off the pads of Richter. Rebound, Bookaboo.
We had that shot of Dale Howard on the bench, having some problems with his groin. He was out the hallway stretching it out, stretching it up on the bench. And again, that's a very dangerous injury for a hockey player to have.
There's Jason Daub flipping it out to center. Leach just sends it back in for the Rangers. 7:40 and counting left here in the third period. Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Brian Noonan along with Pat Verbeek, the goal scorers. Bob Sweeney scoring on the power play for Buffalo. Hannon setting up to play in the Rangers zone. Forced along the near side. Presley joining Hannon, but the Rangers have it. Got it out to center. Just off the stick of Stefan Matteau. And Hasek hangs on to it and stops the action down in the Buffalo zone. Not a good year for Matteau.
No, but what the Rangers do have, though, and the Sabres don't, is size. And I think, again, tonight, that has been one of the differences in the game. The physical play of the Rangers has been superior to that of Buffalo. Physically, the Sabres cannot match up against New York, and he has been a reason, too. Richter, 20 shots on goal. not that many shots, but he has made some wonderful stops in there for New York.
Mind you, Buffalo only had 3 shots in the first period. On to the near side. Lower portion of your screen. Trying to poke it free. It pops by low to the doorstep of Hasek, who sweeps it over to Gary Galley. This was made strong again tonight for Buffalo. With that assist, Gary Galley has a 6-game point scoring streak with 7 points. That also was picked up from the Philadelphia Flyers as well. This date in NHL history is brought to you by the Western New York GMC truck dealers. GMC, the strength of experience.
Let's spin back the clock to 1945. Toronto goaltender Frank McCool sets a playoff record with his 3rd straight shutout. 1-0 in those days was a common score. 2-1, 3-2. And tonight, playing some old-time hockey here at the Garden in New York. 2-1 Rangers with 6:45 to go here in regulation time.
Jim, with that shot of Dale Howard tuck up on the Buffalo bench, Jim, it looks like he's done for the night.
Yeah, they've gone to, that's right, Dave Hannon is out there now.
Kovalev to the loose puck left side of the Buffalo net, and Hasek's got it.
Well, there's a bad board back to the left of Dominik Hasek, and the puck has struck that piece of the board or section of the board and come in front of the net a couple of times tonight. And that time the Rangers almost capitalized. Alexei Kovalev has had or has made some outstanding plays tonight for the Rangers. Here it comes again. See it hit that part of the boards? That's happened 3 or 4 times tonight. And Kovalev cannot convert it into the net. Hasek is knocked down by Stefan Matteau. That's the area where the Zamboni comes onto the ice here at Madison Square Garden.
Left side of the Buffalo net. Sabres win the draw. Here's Derek Plant. Out at center with Charlie Honey over the Rangers line. Plant held up from the slot area. Poked it away from Brian Leetch. Leetch coming back with it. Sergei Nemchinov out the center, off the stick of Noonan. On the left wing, batted over to Noonan again. Here's Brian Noonan on a move, but a slap shot save. Hasek with the rebound. Schmeling. Sweeney trying to tip it out. Leetch over to Noonan. 5:56 left here in the 3rd period. Rangers leading it 2-1. Bukaboom slaps it over the glass and into the crowd.
Now, Jeff Bukaboom is a steady defenseman for the Rangers. You don't hear too much about him, but a very, very valuable member of this club. Big guy, well over 6 foot, well over 200 pounds. And he punishes forwards when they come into the corner of the rink where he happens to be in the area of. Won 3 cups with the Edmonton Oilers and added another one last year right here in New York.
Pat LaFontaine making his first return to Madison Square Garden. It's October of 1993. Looking to tie this game up. Graves from the corner. He's got for a big station out in front of the Buffalo net. Just went across the crease.
This has been the Rangers' best line tonight. The Sabres have not been able to control the Messier-Adam Graves Verbeek line. Verbeek has one of the goals, the opening goal of the period, but this line has spent most of the evening in the Sabres zone.
Cleared back into the Rangers zone. Here with 5:10 remaining 3rd period. Buck takes a ride off the back of one of the linesmen. Hooked by Messier to the near side. Good check by Muni, jarring the puck. Messier, however, has got it over the Buffalo line all by himself. Messier ridden into the inboards by Galley. They get tied up with each other, and the puck is covered, so Trottier calls the play. Our action continues in just a moment.
Look, our Northtown ads have to be real eye-catchers.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, boss.
I want people to see all the new vehicles on the lot.
Well, seeing is believing.
Wait till you see this great new deal from Dodge. Roll the tape.
With more shoulder room, more hip room, and more cargo room than a Ford Ranger or Chevy S10, you could say Dodge Dakota is the perfect size for a truck. And when you can get things like air, cast aluminum wheels, and more for as low as $11,286, you could also say this Dakota 4-cylinder is the perfect size truck for your budget. Dodge Dakota. at America's Truck Stop, your friendly Dodge dealer.
Great stuff, boss, but what about the Northtown ad?
We show a night shot of our service department working late.
Boss, you're a genius.
Then we let them know about our free loaner cars, convenient customer lounge, and low monthly payments.
And we finish with a shot of our owner?
Everyone does that.
Yeah, bad idea. Ixnay the owner.
Yuri Himenev taking a look at things for the face-off, which is ever so important, down the right side of the Buffalo net.
4:52 to go here in regulation time. The Rangers with that 2-1 lead.
The interactive scoreboard here as the fans warming it up.
Well, that's one thing they know how to do in New York, is make noise.
Buffalo out of their zone. Bounces across the line. Kovalev goes right after it. I think everybody gets a gift certificate for a free car horn at Christmas time here in New York. You can't drive one block without tooting your horn at least 3 times. You know that. Low shot. Himenev almost ricocheted off the pads. It's a desperation shot. Buffalo needs more of those here. In the closing minutes of this third period, Himenev digging from the corner. A helmetless Jeff Bookaboo leads some interference. That's cleared by the Rangers. Tired line trying to make their way over to the Buffalo bench. Huda brings it out. Leach has got it. Fresh forces, Derek Plant, Scott Pearson, and Bob Sweeney, the trio that played quite well tonight for the Sabres. Verbeek just right at the Buffalo line. And an offside call will be assessed on the Rangers. Now it is time for the Karuba collision of the game. Make the right decision. Insist on the Karuba collision.
Well, Donald Adet is hit hard down to the ice by Jeff Bookeboom inside the New York blue line.
This teaches you a lesson. Don't change lanes when you have a car right next to you.
Keep your headlights turned on.
Wow.
And Bookeboom, when he has an opportunity to hit you, as he puts his helmet back on, he does not let it slip away from him. Very physical player. This has been a really good hockey game. Entertaining. 33 shots on goal for the Rangers, 20 for Buffalo. The Rangers getting almost half of those shots in the opening period.
Well, the Sabres started out so strong in the first period, then relaxed. Here comes Bodger. Part of the action. Sweeney. Stick handling for the right side of Richter. That's batted by Lowe. Time now is a factor for the Sabres. Down 2-1. 3:07 and counting. Bouncing puck. Schmelik. Forced up along the boards. Bodger takes over. Trying to get it out of his zone. Jason Daw from the Buffalo bench. Wayne Presley out there as well. LaFontaine awaits the arrival of Derek Plant. Now the transition is made. Here's LaFontaine over the Rangers line. Following in is Gary Gallick. Check from the corner. LaFontaine scoots it along. That's picked off by Bookeboom. Duna waiting for Beek. Scored in the first period to give the Rangers a 2-0 lead. Graves clears it in. 2:17 left here in regulation. Wayne Presley is sandwiched just outside the center ice circle. Jarring hit popped off his helmet. Here's Messier over the line along with Verbeek. Messier shot, save, Hasek, rebound, Presley. LaFontaine sends it over to Daw. That play has stopped. Buffalo changes up on the fly. 1:50 left. Bodger tied up with Noonan. There's Lermer kicking the puck. Howard Chuck pulling a shift here. Gave it away, top of the slot. Here's Brian Noonan. Cleared to the near side. Howard Chuck poking that puck, clearing it now out to center. Himenev had it off his stick by Zubov. Steve Lermer with a shot. He attempts to take. We get a feed from Kovalev. He's checked hard. Fans want a call, but play continues with 1:10 remaining here in the third period. Rangers leading it 2-1. Bob Sweeney with those goals scored tonight for Buffalo. 57 seconds left here in regulation. Hasek looks to the bench. Long shot up the pads of Richter. The extra attacker awaiting now. Bob Sweeney is out. Along with Scott Pearson, Gary Galley, Derek Plant, Doug Huda. Here's Pearson. Just off the pads of Richter. Oh, so many opportunities for Pearson. The extra attacker is LaFontaine, and the penalty's coming up as Pearson goes down. High stick to the face.
Now, Scott Pearson has been among a handful of excellent Buffalo Sabre players here tonight. He almost ties his score up as he picks up the puck to the left of the goaltender and just misses, putting it in on the stick side. Pearson quickly jumping on that loose puck, but cannot beat Mike Richter. And the Rangers will go to the penalty box. And the Sabres with the goal, with the net empty, and Messier in the penalty box.
And one of their leaders on the penalty-killing unit, Mark Messier. Buffalo calling a timeout with 30.7 seconds remaining. And Richter has just been tremendous here in the third period, especially on Scott Pearson.
He's another Ranger that has struggled this year. Richter in his last start was replaced in the opening minutes of the third period against the New York Islanders. Richter just 2 wins shy for 5th overall on the New York Rangers all-time list. Here's a Mark Messier penalty at the top of the screen as he hooks down Pearson, and a faceoff coming up in the New York zone to the right of Richter. Coaches are talking about, setting up a play off a faceoff, what the winger's responsibilities are, who you want to try to win the puck to, and what you want to do if that happens. And everyone has a job to do. But it's a little more difficult when the faceoff is halfway between the top of the circle and the blue line. And that's where the puck will be dropped. The Buffalo net empty. 30.7 seconds to go in regulation. 2-1 New York. Rangers scored both goals back in the opening period by Noonan and Verbeek. Bob Sweeney scoring Buffalo's goal in the power play.
The question is now the lobbying going on with the linesmen and the referees, why the faceoff is not going down to the actual faceoff dot to the right side of Richter.
I guess they're saying when the whistle blew, that's where Rangers gained possession of the puck. Bob Sweeney, let's see, who's going to take the draw? It'll be Howard Chuck. You see a lot of talking going on. It's a tough place for a faceoff here for Buffalo. The advantage in this position is to New York.
6 skaters to the Rangers 4. And a clearing play has the Rangers down in the Sabres zone. Roman scores. LaFontaine is being bear up by Brian Leach.
The Sabres are absolutely furious. They're saying the Rangers picked up the puck and threw the puck out to the neutral zone. Let's watch what happened from the faceoff. The puck goes over to the boards to the right of the Ranger net. And eventually the puck ends up in the neutral zone and Larmer has a breakaway. Now watch the puck go up to the top of the screen. And it's picked up. It appeared to be picked up by the Ranger player and thrown all the way back into the Buffalo zone where Larmer scored. That's Bookaboom. Oh, sure. He picks up the puck and throws it out of the zone. And the Rangers end up scoring their 3rd goal of the night and what clearly should have been a penalty. But I think in defense of the referee was on the far side of the ice. Bookaboom screened the play with his body and then threw the puck down the ice. That should have been a penalty and was not.
Dale Howard-Chuck, who earlier we'd mentioned would probably be through for the evening, found himself back into at least a playable condition through stretching onto the bench, and is now a very boisterous part with Richard Trottier.
Well, Richard Trottier is probably saying, look, you're allowed to move the puck with your glove in your own zone. And Howard-Chuck saying, that's fine, I understand that, but he picked up the puck and threw it. You're not allowed to do that.
Rangers goal, a shorthanded goal, his 14th of the season.
Well, they're going to give it to the Rangers, a shorthanded goal, and despite the lobbying effort now with the Sabres captain LaFontaine talking with Richard Trottier, Donald Audette is talking with one of the linesmen about the advancement procedure by the Rangers.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres are about to lose their third straight game.
Now, the rule states you can advance the puck with an open glove, but you cannot pick it up off the ice surface.
No, you cannot pick up the puck and throw it. I mean, you can,
in your own zone.
You can attempt that play, even if you don't pick it up and throw it. There's no possible way you can advance the puck from deep inside your own zone to deep inside the Buffalo zone. It's impossible. No one's strong enough to do that.
Buckler delaying putting the players out of the ice for the opening faceoff.
He wants the referee to come over to the bench so he can get a few things off his chest, and the referee refuses to do that.
John Buckler is just about ready to blow his stack here tonight. Back in the earlier part of the game, while the Sabres were working on a power play, and
I don't
disallowed.
I don't blame him. I mean, he certainly has an argument. That clearly where the puck was picked up by the defenseman and thrown back into the Buffalo zone.
3-1 Rangers, an empty net shorthanded goal stands, and the puck is cleared. Time ticking down now. Gary Kelly, last-ditch effort. And it's over. 3-1 up final here from Madison Square Garden. Sabres last week riding on a streak, unbeaten in 5. Now they're winless in 4, and now on a 3-game losing streak. A tough one tonight for the Sabres to swallow. Outshot 35-23 and outscored 3-1. How about the save of the game tonight, Jim?
Well, it's Scott Pearson who attempts to beat Mike Richter from the corner, and another outstanding stop by the Ranger goaltender, and that stop is the Darien Lake save of the game. Darien Lake, Western New York's premier entertainment and amusement park, has more than 100 wet and dry attractions to enjoy. Make your next breakaway a break for Darien Lake.
More discussions out on the ice surface now with Craig Muni and Pat LaFontaine, but they skate to their dressing room, disgruntled and dismayed, but losing the game tonight 3-1. We'll be back.
Inside Sports Magazine. If you're into sports, you already know the score. But for the real story, you've got to get inside. Only Inside Sports gives you the color, the commentary, the controversy, the consensus. Doug Collins and Bill Walton analyze the Shack Attack. Thomas Boswell proves why Barry Bonds is the best player alive. Bob Trumpy sizes up the road to the Super Bowl. You'll get 10 issues of Inside Sports, including our preseason preview editions. You'll also get our spectacular swimsuit issue. And with your paid subscription, a special bonus, 8 issues of Basketball Digest. No real fan should be without it. Order your subscription now and save over 63% off the cover price. A total of 18 issues for 3 monthly payments of only $7.31 each. Get more than the score. Get the inside story. Get Inside Sports and Basketball Digest today.
Call now 1-800-807-7700.
All I want now is what I had in my life before you and them. Now is not the time, my man, but I'm gonna see you real soon. See me now.
Tomorrow, just come by the bar. We should have a conversation about life and stuff.
At the LA Motorcycle Weekend, they came to race. They brought with them fire-breathing monsters with unlimited displacement for the Super Team Series. They brought pint-sized 125cc GP machines that, when fired, turn into snarling, purebred racers capable of speeds up to 125 miles per hour. They brought factory sponsors 750cc Super Sport, and they brought Harley-Davidson's Boss Hog Super Twins. They are some of the most talented motorcycle road racers in the country. Fearless competitors, nerves of steel. They came to the LA Motorcycle Weekend to race. Welcome to the Fairplex at Pomona, California for round 2 of the AMA National Championship Road Race Series, and welcome to Cycle World. Hello everyone, I'm Larry Myers. Thanks for watching Prime. On this edition of Cycle World, we have road racing, and more road racing. Now with all that road racing, I'm going to need a little bit of help, and it's going to come in the person of my pal, Dave Sadowski, former Daytona 200 winner. Dave, season is barely underway, and already our plates are full.
Yes, overflowing as a matter of fact here, Larry, at Pomona. But one of the things I like about a new season is everything is fresh in the team's camps. The equipment is new, the riders are healthy, and in the pits you can almost smell the brand new leathers. And most important, everyone at the beginning of the season has a brand new attitude. In their mind, they're all winners, and everyone expects to earn the #1 plate. Well, Larry, we know as the season wears on, equipment's going to be destroyed, and attitudes will change, and leathers will be scuffed and torn. And obviously, not everybody's going to be able to win that #1 plate. But as we say here, that's racing, and it all starts here on Cycle World.
Indeed it does. Let's get to the action. We'll start with the Progressive Insurance Super Twins in ski. We were talking about #1 plates. Sean Higbee this year will carry one for the first time. We asked him if it presents any pressure.
Actually, I don't feel like I have much pressure on me at all. You know, I've got the #1 plate, and I'm just going to go out and ride the best I can, and hopefully at the end of the year I'll still be wearing the #1.
Well, heading into last year's season, Scott Zampak, who had carried that #1 plate for a good many years in this class, kind of felt the same way, but it didn't work out that way. Zampak this year is #2.
It was a thing where in racing it's all peaks and valleys, and I was on the top of the plateau for a long time, far more than any other AMA racer in road racing history, so I was a little worried about losing it, but you know, I figured no matter what, I've accomplished so much with my career with the Twin Sports Series, far more than my goals were going into it, that anything beyond it is just an extra bonus. Now I've won Daytona, I'm leading the points to start out the '95 season, so I'm looking real good. Maybe I can put the #1 plate back on Tilley's Harley-Davidson.
Translate all that, and it means that Scott Zampak wants that #1 plate and wants it bad. When we come back, we'll have Progressive Insurance Super Twins Racing. AMA Road Racing on Cycle World is being brought to you by Kawasaki Motorcycles. For a dealer near you, call 1-800-661-RIDE. By Toyota Motorsports. Our minds are always racing. NGK Spark Plugs. NGK right from the start. By Dunlop Tires. Dunlop, simply the best for your bike. Honda Motorcycles. See all that's new during Honda Red Hot Days.
Yamaha and your local Yamaha dealers. Right now, there's no better time to get your hands on a Yamaha motorcycle, ATV, or snowmobile. By Progressive Motorcycle Insurance. With our 24-hour-a-day immediate response claim service, we'll get you back on the road before you know it. And by Cycle World, your leading motorcycle magazine.
There was no mistake about it. I was definitely in cruiser heaven. Even my wife looked somehow different. And there I was, prowling the streets on the new Kawasaki Vulcan 800. V-twin rumbling, chrome gleaming in the sun. Is this for real, or am I just dreaming?
The Vulcan 800 from Kawasaki. It's as real as it gets.
Tom Kip, Jamie James, two champions who demand the competitive edge. But they share one thing: Dunlop tires. And that makes them both winners. Daytona race footage brought to you by Dunlop tires. Dunlop, simply the best for your bike.
Your right brain craves excitement, but your left brain nags to be practical. So get this hand on a Yamaha. And get this one on 8.9% APR and 0 down, right side. Left side, great financing, plus $200 worth of free accessories. But since this one appeals more to your emotional side, here's a reminder for your rational side. Everybody's happy.
Toyota Atlantic is much more than an exciting race series. It's the road to Indy. Champions like Rahal, Andretti, and Sullivan have taken this very same route. Toyota is committed to the Toyota Atlantic Championship because we may not know where the next series champion will come from, but we know where he's headed.
Welcome back as the Progressive Insurance Super Twins are about to get underway. Look to the right of your screen, rider number 11, that's Ben Bostrom. He sets on the pole. Next to him is Dave Eastock, then Scott Zampak, and rounding out the front row with that big number 1 plate, we heard from him at the outset of the show, Sean Higbee, and Higbee did not get all that good of a start.
Not a great start for Sean Higbee, but Scott Zampak showing the champion's way to launch at 883. He takes the lead.
And Higbee, fortunately, when he found himself behind some riders, said, I know where I'm going, right behind Zampak. And that worked out as he came out of there with a third-place hole shot. Ben Bostrom from off the pole holds down the number 2 position. Now, Bostrom has a problem. Practice earlier today, he took a tumble and he ground an awful lot of skin and some of the muscle and whatever else is on your fingers almost down to the bone. He's riding with a badly bruised, injured hand. They tucked it inside a glove, but that's going to be a problem. It has to be, Skeet.
Yeah, Larry, he's had to reach into the special drawer. Every racer's got one in his toolbox. It's the adrenaline Band-Aid.
Sean Higbee looks down to the left side of his motorcycle. Higbee is obviously having some kind of a problem. At this point in time, we have no idea what it might be. Number 92, that's Dave Eastock, moves into the number 3 position, tucks in behind Bostrom and the early leader, Scott Zampak.
Yeah, nobody really wants to let Zampak go in this race. They know if they give him an inch, he'll take a mile, Larry, and it'll be all over.
Well, that was the trait of Scott Zampak when he was winning all the number 1 plates. He would go to the front early, he'd just hammer down and run away. Now, in the early going of this class, and I'm going back to the days when it was first starting, Zampak, and now Bostrom is looking down. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Bostrom is having some kind of a problem, possibly. Now, it could be maybe Zampak is throwing oil, and he had hit both of those guys. They're looking for something, though, on the motorcycle, and obviously they have some kind of a problem. There goes Bostrom looking again.
Yeah, well, it's no secret that Harley-Davidson has a tendency to seep a little bit of oil now.
And number 1, Higbee drops back off the pace slightly, and he continues to look down to the left side of his motorcycle. I want to get this thing in quick about Scott Zampak. What it said was, in the early going, he and Don Tilley, the guy that built that motorcycle, had such an advantage over the rest of the riders that, gosh, you couldn't even imagine how he was able to establish a lead and just run away from the field. But through the years, they have caught up. They've learned all those little tricks and little traits. So Zampak can no longer run away with the race. In fact, there's a half dozen guys out here that are going to make him work if indeed he takes a win here or after that #1 plate.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Larry. What happened there is the scrutineering following the event, they sort of tightened the reins on Don Tilley and what he had been doing to the inside of Scott Zampak's motor, and that kind of brought the class into a real competitive NASCAR-type format, and that's what we're seeing here. But I am really impressed with David Eastock running up front and running strong with Scott Zampak.
Doing a whale of a job. Now, we've teased you with those guys that have been looking down at their motorcycles. Bostrom and Sean Higbee holding the #1 position. Ron McGill goes out of the race, but he was not the problem. The problem is going to be number 11, Ben Bostrom. Now, you'll see him start to drop back. We've already seen it. And Bostrom is throwing just a little bit of oil out of his Harley-Davidson. He had a crash earlier today. We alluded to that. And what it did was break the case. And when they put the thing back together, they obviously left just a little bit of a hole. If you can do that, maybe you can explain that in better terminology, Ski. But in any event, he's spraying oil on the guys behind him a little bit. See him looking again?
Yeah.
Now he's looking at his leg. He's looking at the tire. He's having a tough go of it out there, and so are the guys behind him.
Whoa, we just saw Matt Waite skipping in the rear end into turn 1 there with Sean Higbee almost clipping the back wheel there. And that's David Eastock taking a look over his shoulder, seeing what kind of break they're making. Ben Bostrom, I think that's a blessing for him, Larry, that he's out of the race right now. I think in a number of laps that hand would have fatigued, and who knows what might have happened. That was a blessing for him, but not a blessing for the guys following getting sprayed by oil.
So our pole sitter, number 11, you'll catch glimpses of him, will continue to drop back while Scott Zampak continues to hold down the #1 position. He's being chased by Eastock. He's being chased by Matt Waite. And coming up into the picture, we're going to see Sean Higbee as he finally figures out that it was not his motorcycle that was throwing the oil, and he gets back on the gas. And behind him, Mariel Duhamel.
Oh, yeah, we got Matt Waite running a little bit wide there through turn 7 and losing a little bit of time on the leader. Scott Zampak just revving that Harley-Davidson for everything it's worth.
These motorcycles are so even. It really boils down to how you take that line, when you hit the brakes. Did you do everything just exactly right? Because the rider abilities are even also. So whoever makes exactly the right move at the right time will gain just a little bit of an advantage, but who knows? You know, next corner, they lose it right back again. Now, we've got 4 guys out front that are breaking from the pack. They're all really good riders on really good bikes, and they will make a race of it.
Yeah, consistency is definitely the key with this class, Larry. Who can string together the most consistent laps is definitely going to stick it in the winner. Oh, looks like we got Jerry Casero and Dean Misdahl are going to be exchanging insurance cards here out in turn 3.
Well, both of those bikes are covered by warranty. They'll take them down to the Harley shop in the morning and get all new parts. They'll be set to go in the next round. It's still Zampak, number 2, the champion, ex-champion, I need to say, holding down the #1 position. He's followed by Dave Eastock. Eastock is a newcomer to this class, and man, he's doing a great job. And look at this, rider number 5.
Billy Graff.
Billy Graff.
Into the pits with some kind of mechanical failure, looking down at the left side of his machine. Seems as though these 883s are really hard on shift levers. These guys are stomping all over the shift levers, and they fly off left and right. But Zampak continues to lead, as you said, Larry. And David Eastock, we brought a mention to him. New to the Harley-Davidson class, but definitely a front runner on a Honda 900. He usually wins the series finale down at Daytona on an annual basis.
Now, there's a winner in my book. We'll be back with more racing right after this. Stay with us, won't you, on Cycle World.
There's a whole range of things that can go wrong in golf. Slices, hooks, curves.
The club would hit the ground and wouldn't even hit the ball.
I used to hit the ball with a horrendous slice.
I needed some help, and Golf Digest gave me the help that I needed.
Golf Digest and the 8 Ways to a Better Golf Game video will help you improve your golf game. If it doesn't, cancel the subscription and keep the video free.
Reading Golf Digest helped me get rid of my fade.
I can drive the ball greater distances.
Golf Digest took me from a 15 handicap to a 6 handicap.
Golfers everywhere have actually improved their game by reading Golf Digest and watching the video. They know a subscription to Golf Digest is a must for anyone who wants to be a better golfer.
It really helped me to understand the techniques and the skills of the game. I think it has articles that will help everybody.
So call 800-522-5333. If your game doesn't improve, we'll send you the video and a year subscription for free. We guarantee it.
There is no way you cannot improve your golf game. The only thing you lose out of this deal is a few strokes.
ABC World Team Challenge. Strike it up on Prime.
Welcome back as we continue our look back at the LA Motorcycle Weekend from Pomona, California. And look at this. No one was looking back there. Number 92 is Dave Eastock. He took the lead away from Scott Zampak, and pretty difficult to draft out here. The straightaways are not all that long, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looks like he grabbed another gear right before he pulled out of Scott Zampak's draft.
Oh, Zampak looking around at his rear wheel. Was that oil situation maybe, or does he have a problem? And there's Don Tilley.
Yeah,
and
he's
look,
concerned.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
It
Now
wasn't a draft.
Yeah.
It wasn't a draft. I think Zampak's bike was coming apart, and right as David Eastock was going by.
And it made me look so good saying it was a draft pass, and it wasn't after all. Now you made me look so bad. So Eastock now with a pretty healthy lead, and more of Zampak into the pits. Don Tilley is saying what happened, and Zampak says, I don't want to talk about it. He's headed back to the pits. Quite disappointed, I might add, because he did win the opening round at Daytona, had a healthy lead where Sean Higbee and Ben Bostrom, the two guys that had been doing well in this class up to this point, were both disqualified in Daytona. Their engines were not quite right according to specs, and that hurt him. And now a battle starting to rage between Matt Waite and Mario Duhamel. Waite is number 95 and Duhamel is number 96. And yes, if that name sounds familiar, it's with good reason.
Yep, Mario Duhamel is Miguel Duhamel's younger brother, and Yvon Duhamel's, I think, his youngest son, if I'm not mistaken. But you'll see that they ride just like their father does. And Matt Waite's got his hands full, believe me.
I know you're wondering, why do I say Duhamel and Dave Sadowski says Duhamel? Well, we asked him which is right, and he said both are right. And then he thought a second. He said, you know, I think Duhamel sounds better.
Yeah, so, get the more French twist to it, I guess.
And besides that, Sadowski can't say Duhamel. He can only say Duhamel. Number 92 is Eastock. He's having the best ride ever in an 883 for him. I mean, he did well down at Daytona, but nothing like this. This guy is just smoking him out front. Sean Higbee giving chase. He's not gaining an inch. And number 95 back in the number 3 position for about 40 feet.
Man, can't give a Duhamel that much room.
No, not on the inside or the outside, as a matter of fact, as Duhamel took over the number 3 slot away from Matt Waite. So those two riders really are the battle on the racetrack that the spectators are watching at this time. Up front, things are under control, and a puff of smoke coming out of that Harley-Davidson.
Yeah, usually these 883s will smoke a little bit throughout the duration of the event. Towards the last closing stages of the race, they'll give out the final death smoke, and that'll be it. But usually they'll make it to the checkered flag before they let go.
And Matt Waite just railed around the outside. Is there enough room in there to do a draft, or did he just get a better drive out of the corner?
I think he just got a better drive, and it paid dividends at the end of the straightaway, Larry.
Bartell's Harley-Davidson, they have a strong field out here, including Sean Higbee. Some 5 or 6 riders are entered in this event.
Oh, Duhamel almost lost the front end, going sightseeing through the parking lot, and just some big bumps at the exit of that corner, Larry. It caused Matt Waite a little bit of a problem there, but Duhamel ran right through the center of the bump.
And look at that. He ran off the track. I'm still astounded. He was looking backwards. He was looking down. He was looking up. I think he was praying. We're going to take another look at this. I'll shut up. You talk about it.
Yeah, the big bump right at the apex. Duhamel follows Matt Waite's line, but he actually hits the bump a little bit harder. Maybe his suspension was stiffer, but he stayed on the throttle and kept that thing wobbling right through.
His foot was way up in the air, as high as his head. He never got off the gas. That's amazing.
It is amazing. I think he was looking for the checkered flag through the gate that was open, Larry. He's headed for a shortcut.
And they closed the gate on him. So Eastock takes the win, first ever for him in this 883 competition. He's followed by Sean Higbee, Matt Waite, and Eastock has to be one happy guy. You know him pretty well, and I think that you'll agree that this is a major win for him.
That was a superb effort on his part, and got to give a nod to Woody Kyle for getting that thing ripping down the straightaway.
Yeah, Woody, great tuner. Let's hear from Eastock.
I followed Scott for a couple of laps. It was kind of hard to hang with him. He was riding great, and I got a good drive out of the bus stop corner over there, and got in the draft and passed him, and I just put my head down for a couple of laps, didn't look back at all, and then when I looked back, there was a big gap, and Scott wasn't there anymore, so I was real happy at that point, and knew if I just held on to it and keep a steady pace that I could probably win it.
Bet you $1 if we continue to see him on TV that he'll get a hat that fits better next time. Let's hear from Sean Higbee, who finished in the number 2 position.
Unfortunately, Dave got a little bit out too far out front for me to catch him at the end. But I'm happy with the way the bike ran. Bartel's bike ran great. I'd like to thank the Race Tech people. They really worked on the suspension here. Got me dialed in this weekend. So.
Well, I apologize to E-Stock. Higby's hat fit the same way.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get them all new hats. Matt Waite finished in the number 3 position. Good ride.
I just tried to keep it on 2 wheels and go as fast as I could. Mario and me had a good battle there for a while, and I just got him at the end. That was good for me.
Well, it was good for us that we're watching, too, Matt. That was a great ride. Here are the point standings in the Progressive Insurance Harley-Davidson Super Twins Championship Chase. When we come back, we're going to have a lot more racing from Pomona as the LA Motorcycle Weekend continues, and we continue our highlighted coverage. Ride with us.
I'm Jack Nicklaus, and I've just joined Golf Magazine as special contributor. You can join Golf Magazine, too.
Call now for Golf Magazine, and you'll also get absolutely free Jack's video playing the percentages, an insider's guide to improving your game. Jack, it's great to have you on the Golf Magazine team. Where should we look for you in upcoming issues?
Where else? The golf course.
Welcome back to the Fairplex, Pomona, California, as we look back at a great weekend of motorcycle road racing. Up next, 750cc Supersports, Fred Merkel, who rode Kawasaki last year, has made a jump to Suzuki, says he likes it a lot.
I'm happy. I had a good job last year. We had a good year last year. You know, when I finished on the podium. When I didn't finish, we were either laying on the deck or the bike broke. So it was good and bad last year. It was either diamonds or coal. It was good coming back to America. We're having a great time. Now with my new team, Yoshimura Suzuki, it's feeling great. After the win at Daytona, it was a heck of a way to start our season off.
Now, last year's champion Tom Kipp rode for Suzuki last year. He gave that motorcycle to Fred Merkel. He jumped over to Vance and Hines Yamaha. Boy, that had to have been a tough decision.
Well, last year's championship sure felt good. We came off from a pretty serious injury, and we worked hard all year at it. But I got to tell you, I was really looking forward to be back with, or to be working with a Yamaha and a Vance and Hines Yamaha crew. These guys prepare a fantastic motorcycle. They run a great team, and I'm just happy to be with these guys because I think we can do it again.
Well, Tom, we'll wish you the best of luck and hope you're happy at the end of the year. But at Daytona, he came out second best. And you know who beat him, Ski?
Yeah, Fred Merkel did. But he had a little bit of help.
On his last year's bike. But Tom Kipp carries the #1 plate aboard that Vance and Hines Yamaha. He takes over the #1 position, and tucking right in behind him was Fred Merkel. But by the time they got to that corner, Merkel found a new line around the outside, and he said, "Hello, Tom." Goodbye, Tom, as he took over the lead.
Fred Merkel's got to be one of the most aggressive road racers in the country on the first lap. But Tommy Kipp, he's no slouch either, and he won't let him go.
Well, Merkel has a theory. You hammer them as quickly as you possibly can, maybe ride on a ragged edge, and those tires aren't quite heated up. And if you can get away with it, then you're going to put a little gap between yourself and the rest of the field.
I taught him that.
I remember well. You were winning Daytona, and he was on a mini bike, if I recall correctly. Well, right now, he's not getting away from Tom Kipp. Kipp recognizes the value in hanging tight with Fred Merkel. Now, Supersport Racing is just as competitive, or can be, as the 883s that we watched earlier. These bikes are, well, they're kind of semi-stock.
Well, yeah, Larry, to give you a rundown on what's allowed in this class, you can take a showroom stock production bike like Fred Merkel's GSXR 750. You'll put DOT, the best Dunlop race tires available, or Michelin or Metzler's, and you can take an aftermarket exhaust system, aftermarket suspension components, mess around with the carburation a little bit with jet kits, and a little steering dampener action, braided steel brake lines, aftermarket brakes, and away you go. You have yourself a Super Sport legal motorcycle.
Now, at this point in the race, Fred Merkel was looking good, but one lap later, the Yoshimura Suzuki team was looking for Merkel. Here's why. He was gone. It was Tom Kipp all by himself, Merkel had taken a spill on the backside of the racetrack. Now, quickly, he did get up. He was all right, got back into the race, and had a great ride. Now, coming up, a shot of Donald Jacks.
That wasn't it for the Yoshimura team.
No, not at all. They have more trouble. Now, watch this. This is how you lay one down, Ski?
Yeah, he realized that he did not have a front brake lever, and Donald got around the left rider and aimed for the hay bales. Skinned his hand up pretty bad in this incident here, but Donald Jack showing what a professional he is, and the concern for the other rider there, and just sort of took his own life at stake there to get around him. And this thing just turned into a melee with guys falling down everywhere.
Well, fortunately, everywhere they fell, everywhere they got up, and that's the good thing that we like to see. We're going to show you another picture of Donald Jack sliding through the corner. And Ski, you indicated that this was a controlled slide. He did this on purpose.
Well, yeah, a few corners previous to this, he clipped either a bale or something and took the brake lever off the motorcycle, and he didn't realize it until he got to turn 7 here. He just laid it down casually and tried to aim for a soft spot here at the Pomona Fairplex parking lot.
Great battle developed for the number 2 position between rider number 2, Thomas Wilson, and number 6, James Randolph. They both ride for Kinko's Kawasaki. And while we have just a second, we want to congratulate Thomas Wilson and his wife, Lynn, because just a few days earlier, they had a son, baby boy named Jordan. Tom Kipp gets the checkered flag. As we take a look at the results from Pomona, you'll see the top 5, and finishing 6th was Fred Merkel. Here's Tom Kipp.
Unfortunate for Fred. I did the exact same thing the lap before, but I was able to catch it with my knee. I knew he was going to pick it back up and salvage whatever he could out of it, so I'm sure he rode a heck of a race.
Well, he did indeed ride a heck of a race. He did it without a foot peg on the right-hand side of the motorcycle. Tom Kipp holding down the number 1 position after 2 rounds of racing. Let's jump to the 250 GP class. Rich Oliver, rider number 1, the perennial champ. Here's Rich.
I've been doing this for so long that I've kind of learned all the racetracks and stuff. So I have a little advantage in experience, but it's still tough. I mean, these guys are real close to me, and on the newer tracks, like this track Pomona here is brand new, our 2nd time here. It's difficult to stay in front of them.
And if you believe that, Dave Sadowski, I have a bridge that I want to tell you. Rich Oliver is the most dominant racer in the class, bar any class that we have going. Now, it doesn't look that way from the start. Randy Renfro, a former 250 GP champion, takes the early lead, but Oliver is something else. He's just cool and biding his time.
Yeah, but believe me, it is refreshing to see that number 96 back out front again. Randy Renfro, the former champ in this class from 1983. He's also gone on to win Formula One when we used to have it here in the United States. But this guy is Mr. I have overcome adversity, and here he is running at the lead at the 250cc Grand Prix.
Well, not for long, unfortunately. Randy Renfro picked a bad line there. He got awfully wide, and Rich Oliver was able to slide by on the inside, and then Renfro's troubles continued as he continued to slide toward the back of the racetrack, and Nick Einatz took over the number 2 position. Here we see Renfro in 3rd. He had a great battle with Chris Rankin throughout the afternoon, and it looked like he may have had an opportunity to finish close to the podium. Last lap, though, he took a little tumble. Yeah. Now watch this.
Rich Oliver takes a little side journey.
He's on the wrong side of that grass, and he cuts back onto the grass. That was right in front of the Cycle World booth, and he said later, he said, well, I thought maybe they'd give me a Diet Pepsi or something to drink. But he did dominate on the day, despite that sachet off to the grass, or into the grass, rather.